Peace, peace. What's happening, y'all? Grand Risings. Grand Risings, Grand Risings. What's happening, Quan? Grand Risings, fam. What's happening, Creek? He said, Dooley, Rich Rising. Who is that? Who is you, Creek boy? Because only don't nobody call me by my last name like that. Who is that? Hey, who is that? Hmm. What's happening, Lou? Wagwan. He said, time to wake him back. You already know what it is, man. Make sure y'all get y'all coffee first. Hmm. Don't forget about me. What you talking about, Austin? What you talking about, big dog? I'm saying in BCU. BCU in the building. We got 10 people in here. Let's get 10 reposts jumping. If y'all haven't reposted live, let's get it jumping real quick. Say, gotta roll up. You already know. You already know we gotta do that. I'm a DM. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you. I got you. I got you today. I haven't checked my DMs yet. I ain't checked my DMs yet. Peace. We got 13 people in here. Let's get 13 reposts jumping. Melanated Sun Magic in the building. What's happening? Rich Risings, y'all. Quan in the building. Man, Grand Risings, y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming in. Y'all know that we do, y'all know it's the weekend. So y'all know we do recap weekends. So we recap the information that we talked about during the week, just in case anybody missed the lives, forgot about the lives, or just didn't get time to, you know what I'm saying, come in, join, and all that other stuff, you feel me? So this is why we do recap weekends. So we're going to let a couple more people get in here before we get started on the recap. If y'all can, like the live, share the live, hit that repost button, you know what I'm saying, share it to your story, let everybody know that we on. And we're going to get started in just a second. Let me get this paper plane together. Got to get the paper plane together real quick. Said, what's happening, Stormy? He said, have I read The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life? Nah, I haven't read that. Can you send me that title in my DM? Cause that book do sound interesting. I have never heard that. What's happening, Lou? Grand Risings. Rich Risings. What's happening, Pop? Pop in the building. Hey, Pop, we're going to start part 2 of the Iroquois Constitution on Monday. I haven't forgot, it's a three-part series. So we're going to do part 2 on Monday of the Iroquois Constitution. We're going to start plugging in the Sephardics, the Moors, the Indians. We're going to start plugging in the Iroquois siding with the opposition, and a lot of things, right? It's a lot of things behind that Constitution. It's a lot of things. But we know that Constitution was created to stop neighboring tribes from fighting with each other, though, right? So we do understand that the Iroquois Constitution was created so the Iroquois nation can stop fighting amongst each other, right? Because the Algonquin nation, we had our own constitution. We had our own government and political party. So, and I want people to understand that, the Iroquois Constitution do not go for the Algonquin Constitution. Those are two different nations, two different governing bodies of Indians, you know what I'm saying? But for those who are tied to the Iroquois, we'll break it down with part 2 on Monday. You said interesting? Yeah, it's interesting, ain't it? Yeah. And And to be honest, and the Iroquois Constitution is the reason why we got democracy today. Listen, the reason why we got all this democracy today, it comes from the Iroquois, right? The Algonquins was more of a Confederate, right? The Iroquois was more of the Union democracy side, if any of that makes sense. hmm So the Iroquois was more on the Union side, the Algonquin was more on the Confederacy side. So this is where you get the democracy from. Are you the dude that was getting interviewed on live and told the interviewer they were lying? No, I ain't never been interviewed before. Do I think democracy is a good thing? It depends on who's controlling it. Democracy could be good or bad. It just all depends on the people running it. He said, I got a twin. I don't think I got a twin, but I got you. I was having a breadwinner. We got 40 people in here. Let's get 40 reposts jumping. We about to kick off this recap weekend. Anybody got any questions pertaining to anything that we talked about during this week? Shalom, what's happening, Lola? Anybody got any questions about anything that we covered this weekend about Egypt in America, about the Sephardics, Moors, Indians being the same people? A lot of this stuff that happened in history actually happened right here in America. And when they rewrote history, they put a lot of that stuff over there just to cause confusion and give other people validity in history, right? Right. So if anybody got any questions about that, just let me know. This is the recap weekend. Welcome to High Learning Book Club. Roll it if you got it. What's that? Indigenous God is in the building. Peace, peace. Yup, Eden. Yup. What's happening, Joshua? He said, did they get along, the Algonquin and the Iroquois? The Algonquin and the Iroquois are traditional enemies. Not saying that all the tribes beef, but in generality, Iroquois and Algonquin been beefing. It's traditional. You know what I'm saying? It's a traditional beef. Yeah, this shit happened. It started way back in ancient times. Like, it happened so far back that people don't even know. People don't really remember why they started beefing in the first place, right? It's little gems here and there that can kind of allude to it. But the Algonquin and the Iroquois are traditional enemies. They've been fighting before the Europeans got here. And part of the reason is because the Iroquois sided with the Siberians that came over here. They looked out for the Siberians a lot. The Iroquois sided with the British a lot and a lot of other European colonizers. So, the Iroquois did a lot of they ain't do a lot of good in history. That's all I'm just saying. Not saying they all bad, right? But there's a lot of tribes that sold out a lot of tribes dealing with the Iroquois. Right. Then they call the Iroquois Six Nations or some shit. Yep. Six Nations. Algonquin got 5. Yeah, they got 6. He said North versus South, we've been at liking each other. Pretty much, you can say that. The 5 civilized tribes deal with Algonquin, and the 6 civilized tribes deal with the Iroquois. What's happening, Star? Good morning. I'm getting it here early. Yeah, got to. It's Saturday. Got to get in father mode. So we normally have our lives until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I go get my kids. But yeah. Then I gotta pick up my grill today. I sent my grill to get clean, so I gotta pick my grill up today too. Or whenever he called me today, I gotta go pick it up. We got 72 people in here. Let's get 72 reposts. We about to go ahead and pop it off. You said you would like to know more about Atlantis. So Atlantis is America. You said a grill master? Nah, a grill, like my teeth, my grill. So, so we gonna get started, but nah, I'm talking about the grill that go in your mouth. I found my diamond grill when I was cleaning up and shit like that. I thought I lost my diamond grill, but I found it. Right, that motherfucker been lost for like a year. so, so, so you know, it's been lost for like a year. So I just took it to the grill people so they can clean it up and get it back shining and sparkling and shit like that. And then we gonna throw them things back in my mouth. So yeah, what's happening? So hustle, peace, peace. So if y'all want a grill, go get y'all a grill, man. It's real indigenous for us to have them things in our mouth. Y'all already know how we get down. You feel me? Y'all know how we get down. It's go and get them inside your mouth, man. Real indigenously. You dig what I'm saying? So, Atlantis is America. All right, we starting right there. Atlantis is America. Do anybody disagree? Say you looking now for some bottoms? Yeah, I just got my fangs done. They white gold with gold trimming. You know, with some SI diamonds in them. So yeah. Said you agree, Forbes? Okay. Atlantis is America. America is Atlantis. America is also the first land out of the waters. While all the other lands was just merely islands, right? So if all the lands are just merely islands, that means that it's not big enough to inhabit people yet. But America is. America was already out of the waters and already had people on it, right? Aboriginal people. The boy said, "What's good, Voodoo Chief? You about to get blocked out my live if you keep coming in here like that." What's happening, Ra? For real. You about to get blocked out my live. You keep coming in here like that. Ain't nobody no Voodoo Chief. I don't even know why you be saying that crazy shit. Just being real. Had to hit you with the Kawhi Leonard laugh. Man. So, nah, I'm fucking with you. I know I'm fucking with you. What's happening, So yeah, man. So Atlantis is America. America is Atlantis. Egypt is in America, or you could say America is Egypt. So when you talk about Egypt, you talk about Atlantis. You talk about India Superior. When you talk about that's another one. You can even say Ethiopia as well, because South America was called Ethiopia at one point in time. So all of these are talking about all of these are talking about America. So once you understand the different names that America is going by in history, you can plug it in every time you read one of these old sources, right? If you read an old book from the 1700s talking about India, they're talking about America, right? If you read an old book talking about Atlantis, they're talking about America. If you read books talking about ancient Egypt, they're talking about America. You dig what I'm saying? When they talk about Ethiopia, you got to be careful because there's 3 Ethiopias in history. You got South America, you got the one over there on the African continent, and I think you got one like in Asia or some shit. Right? What's happening, Geechee? Peace, peace. What's happening, Copper? In the glow in the building, right? So, but in hindsight, all in all, they're talking about America. Right? And the confusion is how they tell the story, how they rewrite the story, and how they present the story, which causes the confusion amongst the people, which is what you see in today. All right? Do that make sense? All right. Anybody got any questions before we keep going? You said what caused the destruction? What you mean destruction? Yeah, what you mean what caused the destruction? Roll it if y'all got it. I learn a book club. We got 72 people in here. Let's get 72 reposts jumping. You said Atlantis is no more, right? Nah, Atlantis still exists today. We live in Atlantis. If you live in America right now, you living in Atlantis right now. Atlantis ain't never sunk. They lied to you. They lied to you. Atlantis ain't never sunk. Plato ain't never said Atlantis sunk. They always said that America is Atlantis. So if you in America right now, you're still in Atlantis. You're still in Egypt. You still in India Superior. Like, it ain't go nowhere. The people ain't never go nowhere. You just, you don't, so I'm trying to find the right way to say this. So you're still here. Atlantis, Egypt, all that shit is still here. You still who you are. It don't exist on paper anymore, right? And it's a difference between reality and paper, right? So in reality, we all still here. What's in the OG Tribe Grand Risings? Like in reality, we all still here. Now, in the McGraw books and the indoctrination books that they give people don't exist, right? But they tell you that you don't exist, which is how they strip you from your land, you know what I'm saying, your history, your traditions, and all that type of shit. What's that in TR? By saying that you don't exist, even though you do, right? Right here, clear as day. They just gave you a new identity and people fell for it. So folks aren't called Atlanteans or Egyptians or even American Indians no more, right? They just call themselves black, right? Even though that we ain't never seen a black person a day in our lives, they still call you black. And then you got a lot of people on these apps that represent that blackness like it means something. And that shit don't mean shit. It don't. All right. Somebody need to go tell or teach the FBA that black shit don't mean nothing. And black Americans aren't the only ones called black in history, which is, I'm tired of hearing that narrative too. For real. I'm tired of hearing that narrative too. Like, I don't know where the FBA get that shit from. I don't know where anybody get that shit from, that black Americans was the only ones called black in history. Black means the United States and all that type of shit, and it doesn't. I don't know where they get that from, but that is nowhere in nobody's history books. That's some shit that they created. You feel me? The American Indians in South America was called black. The West Indians are called black. Pacific Islanders are called black. Negro means black. So we're not the only motherfuckers called black in the world. You know what I'm saying? All Aboriginal people are classified as black people because they have to classify you as a misnomer to take your land and shit like that. So all Aboriginal people are called black people. So I don't know where FBA and a lot of these other motherfuckers is getting that shit from. But yeah. What's that in Big UT? Peace. Said, what are your opinions on the Nolan Wells case? I believe all that stuff is fake. I don't believe none of that stuff is real. But that's just me though. That's just me. I mean, I don't really get into those topics on my live and stuff like that. But if I'm being real, all that Nolan Wells and all that shit that's been going on, you know, the white people and black people, all that shit ain't real. I believe all that shit is fake. Crisis actors, they creating stories. They trying to rage bait people. They trying to initiate a race war. They trying to agitate, irritate black folks. They trying to agitate white folks. And they trying to force a so-called race war so they can initiate some type of martial law against black Americans, right? And I don't really believe that a lot of that stuff is happening. I don't. I don't. And I know that crisis actors exist and all that type of shit. And I don't believe none of that shit happening. I don't believe it. It's all psyops. It's, you know, we are in the age of awakening and they turning the psyops up on people. You know, and a lot of our people don't understand that the psyops is being turned up to a high rate because of the age that we in. But there's a lot of psyops going on. So I don't really try to get too much into stuff like that. I mean, so what are your thoughts on the Northern Lights? Does it relate to Eden? The Northern Lights are new souls coming into America or coming into the world. Said they trying to make us mad so we can react. Yeah. Yeah, they trying to get us mad to react. Now, they want a violent reaction. Now, I'm not saying don't react, but I'm saying if you can refrain from getting violent for right now, then refrain from it, right? If you could refrain from getting violent right now, refrain from it, because there's other ways to skin a cat, right? There's multiple ways to skin a cat, and you don't have to go the violent route that they want. Now, I'm not preaching no violence, none of that shit. This ain't no Martin Luther King shit. You know what I'm saying? I do believe self-preservation is law. If somebody come and try your ass, protect yourself and your family. I do that. But they want you to get violent for a reason. Don't give them that reason. Find a different way to win at the game of chess, right? Because the name of the chess game is to kill the king. But you got to figure out who the king is first to do that, right? This is why they give you a whole lot of pawns and knights and shit. And you don't know who the king is, right? So P game. Yeah, they want us angry to harvest our energy and shit like that. Yeah, y'all know what it is. Thanks for sticking up for us West Indians. For sure, Gerbil. You ain't got to thank me. I'm part West Indian. I'm always gonna stick up for them. I'm gonna stick up for American Indians, no matter where we at. I'm gonna stick up for all American Indians. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't and I really don't like the division that's going on between Black Americans and Caribbeans. It's stupid. It's dumb as shit. And a lot of the people who's causing the problems in the division, playing into the hands of the oppressor with the division, because divide and conquer tactics of COINTELPRO, they, and excuse me when I say this, but I'm sorry, so not sorry, but the people that are causing division amongst American Indians on this app are some of the dumbest motherfuckers I came across. And I'm going to keep it real. And if don't nobody like it, join my panel, debate me, debunk me. I don't give a fuck. But a lot of y'all are some stupid motherfuckers to cause division amongst American Indians when the whole purpose, because a lot of motherfuckers wasn't here when all this shit first got started, right? The whole purpose of us gaining this knowledge and reading these books to find out that we're all Indians and that they all lied to us, right? And it's about reclaiming our lands and shit like that. The same thing that happened in the West Indies happened on the mainland. Same thing happened on the mainlands happened in the West Indies. We don't have a different story. And the problem is that I have is that a lot of motherfuckers want to be so different from other people that y'all are missing the point. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people is missing the point. You did. I don't like that. And then I know for a fact that a lot of people can't tell the difference between African Caribbeans and real indigenous Caribbeans. And I know that for a fact, right? I can spot Africans pretending to be Caribbeans, right? And I also know what my people look like, right? Real indigenous Caribbeans look like me and Black Americans. I'm part Caribbean, right? They look like us. Africans gonna always look like an African. Why you think when y'all argue with some of these Caribbean people, they don't come on camera? Because if they came on camera and you seen them, you'll know that this nigga's an African. He ain't no Caribbean. That's why a lot of them stay off camera. Y'all gotta peep that. A lot of people that y'all debate and go back and forth with, they don't be on camera. I refuse to argue with a motherfucker who can't come on camera and show their face. You did. I need face-to-face action. But a lot of them stay off camera because if they came on camera, you'll know that they African. You would know instantly that they African, pretending to be Caribbean. So a lot of Black Americans don't know. They genuinely don't know, and then a lot of them don't care to know because they arrogant and they egotistical. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, if you did your genealogy and you haven't made it past the 1860s, you really don't have the rank to try to navigate what people should think, what people should learn, because you don't even know that much about yourself. And yes, I'm putting I'm putting guidelines on this shit. Like a lot of these FBA niggas only made it to 1860. Y'all haven't even made it to the 1716 and 1500s with genealogical records and shit like that. So y'all don't even know if y'all are real Indians. You could have been an African adopted by us. Or you could be Black European, pretending to be Indian. But you don't know. Right? And a lot of these niggas move like Black Europeans. I'm gonna keep it real. A lot of these FBA niggas be moving like Black Europeans. I'm gonna be real. And if you don't like it, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Like I say, my panel is always open if anybody want to try and debate or debunk me, but you gotta have your shit together when you come to Highlander Book Club. You know what I'm saying? Let me catch up in the comments and we're gonna get started though, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Yeah, they don't want to know. So I don't engage with them people. He said Africans aren't like us, but I think we are the same blood though. We not even the same blood as Africans. We are two different group of people. Yeah, we are two different group of people. Blood, genetic, all that. You know what I'm saying? And then if people was to study Indian slavery, you'll understand that a lot of West Indians came to the mainlands in the 15, 16, 17, 1800s as Indian slaves. A lot of mainland Indians went to the Caribbeans in the 15, 16, 17, 1800s as so-called slaves as well too. So a lot of these people, a lot of Black Americans got a little sprinkle of Caribbean, just like a lot of Caribbeans got a sprinkle of mainland. So you can't really delineate for shit from shit that you don't really know nothing about for real. You can't sit here and say, man, we're separated from all Caribbeans. And you might got a Caribbean grandmama in the 1500s on your genealogical records that you don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, folks don't really be knowing history, bro. And they don't care to know history, but they call themselves teachers and they want to teach and they want to debate and they want to do all, but y'all don't got the knowledge to do this shit. All y'all want to do is argue, fight, cause drama, and get coins, right? Because chaos brings money, and money comes from chaos. And that's what a lot of these people do, is that they just want to be social media famous. Oh, my butane at my lighter done died. Oh, hold on, y'all. Damn, where I put my butane at? Hold on. Damn. I just had my lighter. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 sec. My bad. Trying to remember where I put my butane at. Well, I know nobody got me for my butane, boy. Hold on, show. Yeah, that's crazy. Where the fuck my lighters go? Peace, peace. Shout out to everybody that's in here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We got 83 people in here. He's getting 83 shares and likes. Yeah, that's crazy. I know nobody got me for my tea. Have you considered raw hemp wicks instead? I don't think we got them up here. He said hit that stove. He said you can mail me some. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Send you my address when I get off live, because I ain't never heard of those. I don't think we got them up here. It was a huge slave trade that went back and forth from South Carolina to Bermuda. Nah, that's a fact, Breadwin. That's a fact. It was a fact. A lot of Indians from the Bermuda came over here. A lot of Indians from Trinidad came over here. A lot of Indians from what's another main one besides Haiti? A lot of the Panama Indians, Puerto Rican Indians. Yeah, a lot of Indians came. Lucayans, Caribs, Arawaks. A lot of them. And then there's a history about the lower Antilles that a lot of people don't know, because when we be talking about history and you talk about Haiti and all of that type of shit, that's upper Antilles. So there's a lower Antilles of the Caribbeans that people don't even know about, don't even know exist. The people in India, like, people don't even know about their history. But we'll get into all that, though. We'll get into all that. So, do anybody got any question, though, about Egypt being in America, Sephardics, Moors, or anything? Is there anything y'all want me to go over again? Or anything? I just want to know, You said you new here? What's happening? What's happening? And make sure y'all hit that follow button if y'all new. We got 69 people in here. Let's get 69 reposts, 69 gifts slanging, and 69 shares. We about to pop it off now. I just had to wait for that coffee to kick in. Y'all know how it is when you wake up. You get the wake and bake and the coffee. You gotta wait for both of them to take effect. So I guess everything, because I missed that live. I got y'all. Great Awakening was that in Real Star Seed? I might be butchered the name. Hold on, let me go up. Carolingo is in the lower Antilles. Yup. And Carolingo got a lot of history too. A lot of indigenous history that people don't know about. And Sephardic and Moorish history. So Moors versus Mers. Moors and Mers are the same people. Moors and Mers were the same people. Said, was Ireland in America first too? No, Ireland was Ireland. It was part of America, right? Before the colonial times and the government started separating lines and causing all this division, America, when we talk about America, it originally, I gotta try to find that dictionary, but it originally consists of Ireland, Greenland, and Canada, of course, Canada, of course, United States, of course, Mexico, South America, West Indies, and East Indies. All of that was considered America before they start chopping shit down and, you know what I'm saying, and start giving you the watered down history. But all of that was part of America at one point in time. Or India Superior, should I say. You said Mers versus Moors. Do you know anything? Mers and Moors are the same people. Do you know where all the pharaohs are located? Most of the pharaohs was located in South America, the Yucatan, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, pretty much just the southeast. Memphis, Tennessee, of course, Kentucky with Mammoth Cave. Actually, Kentucky is named after King Tut. But let's see what else. Yeah, but most of your pharaoh mummies, most of them was found in South America and the Yucatan, in the southeast of America. hmm And they were giants too. They wasn't like regular sized people. Like those folks back then were giants, right? It was like 7 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet, 18 feet, 6 feet. Like folks was giants back then. You know. Do you feel you could be wrong at any moment? No, I don't, Alex. hmm You said Tut was found in Tennessee. Tennessee and Kentucky was one place back then. When you talk about Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, all of that was like one big ass area before they chopped it up and all that type of shit. So it was one big area. So, you know, just try to remember that when we talk about these old ancient places and ancient Egypt and stuff like that, a lot of these places is one big ass landmass before they chopped it up and they gave you West Virginia and Virginia and Kentucky. They did that, but all of this was the same area. Yeah. hmm Yeah, they found more pharaohs and mummies in America than Africa. But they want y'all to think that all this shit come from Africa. How, Sway? What's happening, Adrian? Like how, say? Said, what was the first name of America? America. The first name of America has always been America, or Amaru. Amaru Ka, America, Americapana, Amaru, Amorica. It's just different pronunciations of America. So technically, America has always been America. hmm What happened to the giants and dragons? They in the Smithsonian basement. The bones, anyways. I'm from Kentucky. It's part of Virginia. What's up, though? Nah, fast. What's happening, Adrian? I'm in Kentucky right now. I'm in Louisville. hmm Yeah, I learned that Louisville, Kentucky, was old Virginia. So in a lot of colonial books, when they talk about Virginia, they're actually talking about this area that you call Kentucky today. In a lot of books, and in some books they actually mean Virginia. In some books they mean Kentucky. But when you get old maps, you'll learn that Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee, and even North Carolina, this was one big ass place, right? Virginia is what they called it. So yeah, you in Lexington? Ah, yeah, it's a lot of history out there in Lextown. hmm Who were the Kentucky Indians? The Shawnee, Iroquois. A lot of Iroquois nations. Where you got the Shawnee, you got Chickasaw was up here, Shawnee was up here. Who else is up here? The parks in Louisville is named after the Indians that was up here. I'm trying to remember from the top of my head. So you got Shawnee Park. A lot of the Iroquois Indians was here. You had the Chickasaws was up here. Blackfoot. The Blackfoot Indians was up here. Cherokee, or Ananawiya, should we say? What else? Who else was up here? A little bit of the Cahokia, because Illinois isn't that far from Kentucky. Um, what other Indians was over here? The Illinois Indians. It's a lot of them, but Kentucky is more of a Iroquois nation territory. Hmm. The parks here in New Jersey are named after the Lenni Lenape Indians. Uh-huh. Yeah, the Saponis. Yup, yup, yup. Hmm. The Uchee is more of Georgia, Muskogee Creek area. What happened to your ancient ancestors who created our lives? What are you talking about, Alex? Like Alex, why you just don't hit the panel and ask your questions? If I prefer people to come to the panel to ask questions sometimes because it'd be kind of hard reading y'all comments a little bit. But the Potomac Indians was around this area in the Midwest. Hmm. The original Plains Indians, should I say that? The original Plains Indians. Was that in Badu? Peace, peace. A lot of my Blackfoot side come from there. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of Black Americans in Kentucky that got Blackfoot Indians. Hmm. And when we and just and let me clarify this too. Blackfoot is an exonym, right? So what an exonym is, it's kind of like a misnomer a little bit, but not for real, right? So for an example, the word Navajo, right? Navajo would be an exonym because the real name of that tribe is Nudane, right? But they are called, right? They are called Navajo. You dig what I'm saying? So Blackfoot is kind of like that. So Blackfoot actually could mean a number of different tribes, right? It could mean a number of different tribes. And it was a name that was given to colonizers, of course, because they was black people, right? So when you get to the Blackfoot, there's tribes inside the Blackfoot. Uh, like I'm trying to. One of them starts with the K. The the Kurakika or something like that. It means blood when you translate it. There's an Indian tribe that's called Blood or the Bloods, and they're part of the Blackfoot Confederation. We'll do a Blackfoot breakdown one day. I got the language dictionary and all that type of shit. We'll do a Blackfoot breakdown one day for those who got a little Blackfoot in them. Isn't Blackfoot a tribe of the Choctaw? A lot of Choctaw Indians was called Blackfoot. That's why I said that Blackfoot is a confederation of a lot of different tribes, technically speaking. And they were warriors, right? The Blackfoot was a warlike tribe. They was one tribe of the Iroquois who didn't get along with the Iroquois nation. You know what I'm saying? Like they always kind of rebelled against the Iroquois and what they had going on. So the Blackfoot and the Cherokee will fight for generations. The Blackfoot also will fight a lot of the Ute tribes, a lot of the Arapaho tribes. They will fight a lot of the Siberian tribes, a lot of other Iroquois nations, or whatever. But the Blackfoot, and the reason why is because, like I said, the original Blackfoot are Iroquois, but it's kind of like being a Viking. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go being a pirate and other people want to join your clique and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that when you talk about the Blackfoot. So you got the original Blackfoot, who is part of the Iroquois nations. As they migrated and went to war with tribes and did all this other shit, you got other nations who started joining the Confederation, right? You start getting the Choctaw Indians or the Algonquins. You start getting other Iroquois and other Algonquin nations, and then they just formed this big ass Blackfoot Confederation. So a lot of Choctaws are also called Blackfoot in history. A lot of Chickasaws are also called Blackfoot in history. Sometimes Cherokee. Then you got the original Blackfoot. The original Blackfoot come from Detroit in Canada, and they migrated down. through the plains area. Um, there's like four more tribes because there's 6 tribes that make this Blackfoot Confederation, and there's a couple more of them. But we'll do a history on it. We'll do a history on it. He said, "I'm not challenging. Sorry, I didn't mean to see my self defense." I don't really know what you're talking about, Alex. I don't know what you're talking about. What's that in Russian? Peace, peace. What's that in Auntie B in the building? Is there a main Blackfoot line? Yeah. hmm You said you thought Blackfoots would have been Creeks. It's a confederation. The Blackfoot Confederation, it, it the Blackfoot Confederation can include a lot of those tribes. Creeks, Shottas, Chickasaws. It can. It just at a certain point, it comes down to who your people is, right? If you have Blackfoot in your family and you do your genealogy, but all you find is Choctaws and Creeks in there, you be like, then where's the Blackfoot? Those are the Blackfoot. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a confederation, right? So it can include a lot of those people. It just depends on what your family was doing at that time to be part of that confederation. By the time the original bloodline of Blackfoots, when they left Canada and Detroit and stuff like that, and they migrated down, going to war with all these different tribes and shit, it just depends on what your family was doing and what made them join the Confederacy at that time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if any of that makes sense, it's think like gang banging, right? I hate to say it like that, but think like gang banging. You know how people be joining gangs and shit? Like, y'all ain't really like blood related type shit, but y'all, you know what I'm saying? You join the gang, now y'all brothers and shit like that. That's how a lot of this stuff was. What's that in the same? That's how a lot of this stuff was. Blackfeet and Blackfoot are actually the same people. All Blackfeet is just plural. And Blackfoot means one, Blackfeet means a lot. It's just, that's all it means. There you go. I appreciate that. Original facts. Those are the original Blackfoot bloodline right there. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. The Kainai right here. The Kainai. This is the blood tribe. I have the Kainai in my family with the Shottas. Right. This is the blood nation. The Kainais. So if I do talk about my Blackfoot ancestry, my Blackfoot ancestors and the Shottas are tied together in Mississippi, and it's the blood nation, right? The Kainai. But these are your original Blackfoot bloodlines that came from Canada and Detroit and migrated down, right? And a lot of our tribes joined them because a lot of our tribes joined them because they were going to war with other tribes that we didn't fuck with either. Like, nobody fucked with the Cherokee. And since the Cherokee was a big nation, a lot of us clicked up together just to fight these niggas and shit because they was a big nation, right? So it gets deep though. We got a caller on the line. Oh, okay. I thought we had a caller on the line. Okay, there we go. What's happening?
Peace, brother. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Another beautiful day for decolonization and the process to learn decolonization. You know what decolonization means?
Of course.
Separation of school, food, hospital, and government.
hmm
Yes, sir. A lot of people don't understand that, the United States came from Europe. It's not an indigenous government.
What, the United States?
Yes.
It
The
is.
an indigenous government?
hmm
How you figure that, sir?
The United States is an indigenous government. It just got hijacked by the Europeans.
So they are administrators at best, trustees at best, and custodians at best over your great vast estate. They're living off of your ignorance as long as you keep calling yourself Black American, and the list goes on and on and on. Other than Moroccan, right? Because Moroccan is the name on the contract. Remember, you hear Hillary Clinton say it all the time.
I ain't about to deal with that. It's too early for that. Noble Drew Ali shit. We are Americans. America's not Morocco. Yes, Fellaini, it's damn really. Yes. 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 America's not Morocco. We're not Moroccans. We are Americans. We are American Indians. Okay. I already know where you going with that. Y'all gotta stop that. Y'all gotta give that. Y'all gotta give that shit back. All right. You find your tribe. Okay. Learn who your tribe is. Nah, I don't need to read. I don't need to read. I read enough. He said he started out slow, then just start saying a bunch of. Come on, man. Look, man, we read enough, man. So we are present now. There is no going back. Alex, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And it's crazy that they be coming up here talking about that Moroccan shit like that, but they don't know that the United States was the first black owned business. Black Americans or American Indians gave you the United States. They hijacked it, which goes back to the Iroquois Constitution, Indians, which is where it all began that of democracy in the United States. So United States Corporation, the business, was actually created by us. It was the first black owned business ever in America. And it got hijacked. That's a fact. So it ain't because you are Moroccan, no shit like that. It's because you are the American. You are the Egyptian. You are the American. You are the Atlantean. You are the Edian, right? The children of Eden. You feel me? Like, we ain't gotta do all that. We ain't gotta do all that. We ain't gotta do all that more science temple shit. I'm just being real, man. Man, shout out to everybody that's in here though. Roll it if y'all got it. It's 90 people in here. Let's get 90 reposts jumping, man. How many of y'all know that we are the Indians, Sephardics, Moors, Shamites? Let me just say that. How many of y'all know that we Shamites or Shemitic people? How many of y'all know that we are Shemitic people? And if you know that we are Shemitic people, then y'all know that America is the land of Shem. Right? What's happening, Tweetbird? You said, first off, we not all the same. There was a lot of raping going on back in the day. No, it wasn't. That's some shit that the white man told you. It wasn't. All right. You see, I know you guys are, but the mixed bloodline, where do they come from? It all depends on the mixed bloodline. You know? No, we're all now Haitian. Not at all. Shit, a lot of us ain't even Indians. You said some Africans come from Ham. No, all Africans come from Ham. Moors and Sephardics aren't Africans or Hamites. Mm-hmm. Facts, facts. So we all know that we are Shemitic people. We know that we are the Americans, the Indians, the Atlanteans, the Egyptians, right? Because we know that Egypt is in America, right? We know that this is the land of Shem. We know what's that in Bit Rock? Peace, fam. Hey, we know that this is the old world. Now, putting it together is what people's having a hard time doing. Okay? Putting it together is what people's having a hard time doing. You said, not true, there are millions of black men with European male DNA. I don't know what black men is. I never seen a black man before, so I don't know what you're talking about, millions of black men. I don't know what black men is. And what is this European DNA that you speak of? See, we got to be specific, right? We got to be specific. Why do these people always try to put American, but hold on. Why do these people always try to put American so-called black everywhere but here? Oh, hold on, what? Are you asking why? Why do people try to put black Americans everywhere except for here? Shit, mainly because of who we are. When you rewrite the history of America, you got to rewrite the history of the original people of America. So when they start putting everything in Africa and shit, they had to put us in Africa inside their story, right? When they start finding all the mummies, the pharaohs, the pyramids, and all that type of shit, and they start putting it and moving it over to Africa and shit like that, that's when they moved our identity to Africa too. They was like, these are Africans. Just move them over there with the pyramids, and that's what it is. The whole rewriting of history is to rewrite what America really was, or really is, because it still is. And a lot of that history of the indoctrination schools that we went to, a lot of that shit that they say is Greek and Roman, and all that shit that they say is Egyptian in Africa, all that shit that they be saying is all that come from America. All that is American. Americans took civilization around the world, and they cover it up because they don't want to give black Americans credit for any fucking thing, right? And and they created a propaganda so deep, and people believe it. Even our people believe it. Like our people say that they kings and queens and gods and goddesses, but they cannot believe or fathom that we are the ones that spread civilization around the world. If you the kings and queens and gods or goddesses, why you can't believe that you civilized the world? Why you, as a black American, specifically black American, why can't you believe you civilized the world? You act like you civilized the world still to this day, and you don't even know it. Black women be out in public and somebody else's kid will be acting up in the car while the parent ain't there. They'll sit your ass down. And the kid will sit down and shit, civilizing them, right? When the parent ain't around. We be quick to correct the motherfucker child real quick. Get your ass out the road. You know your mama don't play that. Like, we still be doing that shit. Still to this day. Motherfucker be in there, use the bathroom, they don't wash their hands. We be looking at them like, you ain't gonna wash your hands, fam? No, shit, my bad. We still gotta civilize these niggas still to this day. You feel me? So as a black American, how deep is the propaganda to the point where you can't believe that it was you and your ancestors that civilized Europe? Because when you say the story of the Moors civilizing Europe, you're saying the story of American Indians civilizing Europe, because that's what it is. They hide the American Indian under the Moor and Egyptian monikers. But when you pull back the layers all the way through, you will find out that it was American Indians, niggas, from America, American Negroes, that civilized the world. We took agriculture, architecture, astrology, zodiac, geometry, pyramid building, mound building. We took the toilets, the irrigation systems, the hygiene, the soaps, the shampoos, the conditioners. We took the medicine. We took the spirituality. We took everything that started in America by our ancestors around the world about 3,000, 5,000 years ago, mainly into Europe, East and West, because our brothers and sisters on the West Coast, they went out that way and they went into Russia and Asia and shit like that in the Pacifics. And us on the East Coast, we went this way and we went to Ireland, we went to England or Europe, West Europe, and we went to so-called North Africa and even South Africa. You dig what I'm saying? And then both of the Indians met up in the middle of the Middle East, what you call the Middle East today, or the Mediterranean Sea. And we start building shit there. And it was us. It was us. All of the history books prove that. All right, hold on real quick, y'all. Let me send this text message. It was us. But, you know, they did a number on our people. Like, they lowered our whole self-esteem and our confidence to the point where we can't believe that it was us. Even though we still do our culture and tradition still to this day, even though we still act like our ancestors of yesterday, we still can't connect the dots and believe it. Because they've been telling you that you've been a slave this whole time and you ain't had no culture, even though you've been doing your culture. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, Coop? Peace, peace. Right? He said, why does the screen say consuming substance featured in his live? It's because I'm smoking. And they seen the smoke on the screen. You said, what is a black American? I'm an American. Well, I say black American for layman's terms so people can understand what I'm saying. Because there's a lot of people who's new to this information who don't speak the language of enlightenment yet. So we have to meet them on the level that they are at and bring them up to our level. So this is why I still talk in layman's terms so people can understand it. If you overdo it, right? If you try to be too professional and too smart, motherfuckers ain't gonna listen to you. But if you come to a level where people understand and speak a language that they get, aka Ebonics, you got them. So Pete Gato. So y'all can damn. I had this. Okay, we'll go over this later. I thought I had resized it. For those who want to know about the name of America, you can get this book right here called the Watson Jeffersonian Magazine. Grand Risings, Bambi, peace, peace. Right, if y'all want to screenshot this, you can. This book could tell you and break down the name of America to you. And there's a lot of other books, but this book specifically. Yes, from the white man. Yes, from the white man. Truth have no skin complexion. Yes, from the white man. Truth don't have a skin complexion. I'm not gonna knock somebody's knowledge because they don't look like me. I know a lot of niggas that be lying. There's a lot of pan goofy books out here, and there's a lot of niggas that be lying. So I don't negate truth and lies with skin complexion. That wouldn't be very intelligent of me. So, all right. So inside this book, you're gonna go to this page right here, which is titled Name of America. Right? And they gonna tell you, or he gonna tell you, that America has always been named America. All right. What's that in Bill? Peace, peace. So I'm not about to read all this, just to let y'all know. I'm just showing y'all so y'all can get y'all screenshots on. I got some other stuff I want to read. What's that in Keisha? Peace, peace. Grand Risings. All right. But as you see in the highlighted parts, it says the name of America. It tell you that America was always named Amartica, Pana, Martica, Cabo, and just different variations of America, right? America, right? So it has always been named America. And yes, FBA, South Americans and Caribbeans are American. I don't know why y'all think that the Caribbeans are not, which is fucking weird. But anyways, I don't know who raised y'all niggas. I'll just be here. I don't know who raised you niggas, but I don't know what makes y'all think. But anyways, so we're gonna flip the name, like I said, different variations of America or America. And the crazy thing is that the original name of America starts in South America and the Caribbean. So I mean, technically, but anyways, though, America Bay, Maracaibo, right, all the way to the Pacific Islands, mainlands, Caribbeans, all of this was called America. I don't know nothing about no Haiti Empire. I don't know nothing about no Haiti Empire or what Voodoo Chief is telling y'all. I just know it's some crazy shit, and y'all should do y'all own research. But anyways, though, so just different variations, right? The Antilles, different variations of America, and they said that when they got here, it was already called America, Pan America, Spanish, right? Just telling y'all right there, right? The black country, right? Ancient Egyptians, right? Well, I'll read this to y'all. So it says where we're gonna start at. It says Asiatic neighbors in a manner of facilitate that its more extended applications. Asia, right, in quotation marks, right? Asia indicated originally a very small part of what is now Asia Minor. But near the dividing line, Africa meant originally only that small part of the continent lying around cartilage. Remember what I've been telling y'all about old Africa versus modern Africa, right? They even told y'all too, back in these times, Africa originally meant that small part of the continent lying around cartilage. So that continent wasn't even called Africa in these times. So how are you grabbing Africans from Africa if the continent wasn't even called Africa? They was well, we already stressed the fact that they wasn't grabbing no damn body, for one. Secondly, if they was grabbing motherfuckers, they was grabbing Sephardic Jews, Moors, Carthaginians, and Phoenicians. Not no Nigerian or no Gambian or no Congolese motherfucker, no shit like that. They was grabbing specific people because specific people was being exiled at that time and enslaved. Right? So there you go. Right? So it was between Carthage and with which the Romans came in contact. It was much less extended than Libya. Egypt was the name by which the Greeks knew a small seaport town near the mouth of the Nile, and bears no resemblance to the name the Black Country, by which the ancient Egyptians designated their own land, right? The ancient Egyptians. Kemet, right? I'm saying that OG tribe, peace, right? The name China spread from a pretty mountain range on the borders of India. What India? Just think about this for a second. Appreciate the gift, y'all. What India? This book was published in 1911. What India? America was still called India. So where did China come from, right? Because if you look at old maps, Mexico used to be called Cathy, Cathy, which is another name for China. Why would Mexico be called Cathy? aka China. Just keep reading though, right? So the name China spread from a pretty mountain region on the borders of India because it was there that Europeans first came into any considerable contact with the empire. And it was by European nations that the name came to be obtruded on a nation which knew itself only as the Middle Kingdom. This shows that it is by the spread of local names indigenous to small regions that large regions are named. What did they say? How did they get their names? This shows that it is by the spread of local names indigenous to a small region that large regions are named. So they telling you right there that large regions get their name from small indigenous regions, meaning that those names have always existed there. Y'all gotta stop thinking that white people named everything. They're not even old enough to name shit. I'm just being real. That's the only reason why I read that little part. Right? Y'all gotta stop thinking that white Europeans named everything. They're not even old enough to do that. Right? Negroes gave you all these names and places and towns and locals and cities and all that type of shit. And that's coming from the white man. The white man literally just told you that we ain't named none of this shit. This shit was already here. That's what the white man told you. Yeah, we ain't named none of this shit. This shit was already here. Shit, larger regions got their name from smaller local regions. North, Central, South America, and the islands in between are all American Indians. Yeah, we all Americans. That's why I don't agree with FBA causing division amongst Americans. The delineation was supposed to be for Africans. How you gonna delineate from American Indian if you're an American Indian? That shit don't even make sense. That's why I be looking at FBA crazy as fuck. Delineate from the Caribbeans. How you gonna delineate from American Indians and you American Indian? These niggas is wild, bro. These niggas is wild, G. But once you understand And this is a side note. Once you understand what FBA is saying, when they talk about their lineage, they're mulattoes. They are. I got the book that breaks down the history, the timeline that they refer to, right? When you pull up the FBA and they say 1526 and all that type of shit, they are the first mulattoes. Real shit. And I give y'all that book later on, right? They talks about the ethnogenesis that they always be regurgitating and all that type of shit. Yeah. In order to have an ethnogenesis, that means that you're mixed or you're a mulatto. So you can't be the foundation if you're a mulatto. That means that at one point in time, you ain't never even existed. It took 2 or 3 different nations to create you. So you can't be the foundation if you the baby of the foundation that was already built. That's why FBA don't be making sense. But they are mulattoes because mulattoes go through an ethnogenesis. An ethnogenesis means that a fusion, a cultural fusion, a transnational fusion happens, meaning that a Sephardic and a Moor mixed with an American Indian and created a baby, which is the ethnogenesis, right? You're not really Sephardic or Moor, African, and you're not really an American Indian. You're something new. You're a hybrid of the two. And that's what the fuck they talk about. So there you go. FBAs ain't nothing but mulattoes. Angry ass mulattoes. Real shit. They just saying it in a cool ass way to make people join their cult. For real. They just saying it in a cool ass way to make people join their cult. But if you know that you a pure blood American Indian, you don't need to be fucking with no FBA. You ain't no mulatto. You ain't going through no ethnogenesis. You still an American Indian. You still do everything very Indian-like. So you ain't go through no ethnogenesis. You are the Indian. So stop saying that you're a FBA. You do everything Indian. Can't name that one thing you do fucking African. Come on, man. You said FBA are our brothers and sisters. They know the truth. I think they just being strategic. They ain't being strategic. They being arrogant and egotistical. Ain't nothing strategic about nothing that they doing. For real. Ain't nothing but arrogance and egotisticalness. Ain't shit strategic. And I know, because if you disagree with them one time, they're going to call you a tether. They're going to call you a Caribbean tether. They're going to call you all type of shit just because you disagree with one thing. That's not strategic. That's arrogance and ego. And you can't call nobody a tether if you a mulatto. So you know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck y'all gonna call anybody a tether and y'all mulattoes? Y'all went through an ethnogenesis. So one of your forefathers had to tether on to the American culture to survive in America, nigga. Like, what is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? If anything, y'all the original tethers. Like real shit. If anything, y'all the original tethers. One of y'all forefathers is the African. Had to tether on to the American to survive in America. Ethnogenesis. You know, like, what the fuck is y'all talking about out here in these TikTok streets, bro? That's what I'm saying. Like, this shit don't be making sense what people be saying. But, you know, tomato. Most don't do their genealogy to know who they are for real. Nah, that's a fact. That's why they still cling on to that black shit so tough. They still cling on to that black shit so tough because that's all they know. And that's how you know if they did genealogy or not. Only people who still cling on to that black identity still to this day, like it's some prideful shit, is the ones who haven't did their genealogy. That's it. It's the ones who haven't did their genealogy. They haven't went far back enough to where their people wasn't called black, which is where you get to your nationality and your tribe at. Most of them get stuck in the 1860s where their people is called black, and that's what they latch on to because that's all they found. So, you know, they got to get into these history books. That's all I'll say. Do you think Caribbeans see themselves as American Indians? Yeah. hmm Real Caribbeans will tell you that they're the real Carib, that they're the real Lucayans, that they're the real Arawakan. Real Caribbeans will tell you that. It's the African Caribbeans who don't know shit about that, so they won't say that they American Indians because they don't know shit about that. But real authentic Caribbeans, we know we Indians. We know we Indians. hmm Some of us know that we Indians mixed with Irish. Some of us know that we Indians mix with Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Moors, Sephardics, and stuff like that. Like a lot of us know this. hmm Yeah, I know a lot believe they're Indian, but American. If you know that you're an Indian, then you are American. hmm You are American. M- Most Caribbeans know that we are American. That's why I said when you run into real Caribbeans, we know that we Americans. We know that we Indians. Caribbeans been coming to the mainland since ancient times. This ain't nothing new. We've been coming to the mainlands. The mainland's been coming to the West Indies. We've been had a trade network with each other doing business. We cousins. We cousins. But a lot of folks don't, like I said, lack of history and knowledge is what's hindering people from understanding that. Right? That's all that is. Just the lack of history. You said we need more of these talks. It's because they do a lot of separating themselves. Is too, yeah. But think about it though. Isn't Black Americans do it too. The Caribbeans don't do nothing different than what Black Americans do. Black Americans separate themselves too. Come on, y'all. It's when we are on this journey of enlightenment and shit, let's not get beside ourselves and act like that we are perfect as Black Americans. We do the same shit. Niggas don't fuck with niggas. A lot of Black Americans be separating themselves from other Black Americans and Caribbeans and other people and shit like that. Some of y'all be separating yourselves from your family. So they don't do nothing different than us. Like, it's literally the same shit. We got the same oppressors. We the same Indians. We got the same culture, believe it or not. We do the same shit. We the same people. Right? Everybody ain't gonna get along with everybody, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But historically though, we all American Indians. You know. Um, and to be real, if I'm gonna be totally honest, a lot of Caribbeans don't really separate themselves from us. The African Caribbeans do, but real indigenous Caribbeans have been living amongst Black Americans up under y'all noses, up under our noses for centuries. Blended in, like You know what I'm saying? Like we done fought with the Black Panthers and all that type of shit. You know, march with Martin Luther King and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Malcolm X and all them. You know, but like a lot of real Caribbeans don't separate themselves from Black Americans. In today's time, they are because Black Americans are voicing how they want to be separated, or FBA, anyways. But separation is not going to get us to the goal that we're looking for. Is all I'm saying. What's NSC 3 Grand Risings? If we're honest, we share our culture and creations with the Caribbeans. Yeah, it's a common. Mainlands and Caribbeans have been sharing cultures since ancient times. Like real shit. Like that's history. People wouldn't know shit about barbecue if it didn't come from the Caribbeans. That's where barbecue come from. Barbecue is a Caribbean invention. That's why I be looking at Black Americans crazy. You know, like, if you don't like Caribbean, stop barbecuing. The word barbecue is literally an Arawakan word. It means smoke, and that's what the Caribbeans did. On the mainland, we we didn't start smoking or barbecuing until our Caribbean brothers start coming over here and shit like that. We used to brick oven shit. We used to bake. Like real shit, we used to bake. We brick oven shit, you know, bake chicken and we make stews like gumbo and stuff like that. Some tribes fried foods, you know, deep fried stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? In animal fat and shit like that. Like, you know, sir, you know, and then it's just a cultural share. Like they share culture with us, we share culture with them. It's just an American Indian thing. A lot of shit just it's just it's all American. You know what I'm saying? To sit here and really say what belongs to what or who, you know, you'll be out here trying to bust your brain all day. It's all American. It's all American. It's all American. Shout out to everybody that's in here, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, give me 1 second. Peace, peace, y'all. What's happening? The French took Natchez Indians from Louisiana to Haiti. Yeah, that's a fact. I got a document and a book about that. I'm Jamaican and very knowledgeable about the ancient links to North America. Yeah, so we all have to understand that the. Hold on, I'm trying to light my paper plane real quick. So we all have to understand this. As American Indians, we all come from the same mother cultures. This is why I say that our culture is similar, right? You said, do I grow my own? I used to. I ain't in the setup or the apartment to do that right now. But once I move into another apartment, I will. But I used to though. I used to. I got a hydroponic system. I used to do it through the hydroponic system. But peak game though. Uh, so we all have to understand that we all come from the same mother cultures. This is why our cultures is the same and similar, and a lot of people is failing to realize that you see, I got a lot of people in Barbados, facts. A lot of black Americans are tied to the Caribbeans. Knowingly or unknowingly, a lot of us is tied to it. Like you'll find cousins in the Caribbeans before you'll find cousins in Africa. Real shit. As a black American, you will find cousins in the Caribbeans, in Ireland, in Scotland, before you'll find cousins in Africa. I swear to you. Like some of y'all will find Asian cousins. Because one thing about black Americans, and this is how you know that the history that we're saying is true and real, is that black Americans are literally kind of the only group of people that are ancestrally tied to Asia, Europe, America, and what you call Africa today. Like literally all four places we're tied to because of who our ancestors was and how they migrated to these places and set up shop. This is why they can find our DNA in Asia. They can find our DNA in Europe. They can find our DNA in certain parts in Africa because our ancestors have been all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And you'll find cousins in the West Indies and shit before you'll find cousins in like real talk. And if you do find cousins in Africa, it'll probably be like in Mauritania, Tunisia, the Iberian. It'll be places like that. It ain't gonna be like Gambia, no Nigeria, no shit like that. If you had to find some African cousins, it'll be in the northern part of that continent, Mauritanians and shit. Cape Verde especially. Cape Verde especially. Cape Verde hold carnivals just like the Caribbeans do. And a lot of Cape Verdeans would tell you that they got American Indian ancestors. hmm I met a few Cape Verdeans in my life and during the history. A lot of them know that they got American Indian ancestors. They look just like us. They know they got American Indian ancestors and they hold carnivals that's just like Louisiana and the Caribbean still to this day. You feel me? And that's the western most part of Africa. You dig what I'm saying? And you be sitting here like, yeah, who is these niggas on the reservation then? Like, because when you research Indian slavery, they talk about sending Indians to these places, but then when you go look at these places, these people look like us. Like, real shit. We'll do a live about Indian slavery again one day. But when you research Indian slavery, they sending all these Indians everywhere and shit. Then when you go look at these places, these people look just like us. You be sitting here like, but the Pan Africans be like, yeah, that's that African in them. Like, come on, bro. Yep, the Canary Islands too. Yep, especially the Canary Islands. hmm Especially the Canary Islands. And guess what? You'll also find some white passing cousins that you ain't even know about. Before you'll find an African cousin, you'll find white passing cousins pretending to be white in America. Still to this day. White passing people pretend to be white still to this day. Some of y'all cousins, right? When you be doing your genealogy and shit like that, and you be finding like 6th and 7th cousins and shit like that, you be thinking some of them look like you. A lot of them niggas is white passing. For real, a lot of them white passing. A lot of your cousins is white passing, pretending to be white people still to this day. Like real shit. You be doing your genealogy and you be finding other family that's tied to this, and it be like some white people and shit. Some of them ain't really white people. Some of them like white passing people. Like, I'm telling you the real truth. And some of them be white passing. Some of y'all related to hillbillies and rednecks. Why do I say that? Because rednecks and hillbillies, if you know their history, you'll know that if you gonna say any group of white people is tied to the Indians mostly, it would be rednecks and hillbillies. Real shit. They eat cornbread and everything like everybody else. They like just like us. They season their food. They speak a certain form of Ebonics that ain't really like white country folk. It's like they mirror you. Put it like that. They mirror you. Real shit. They mirror you. I'm just being real. And a lot of them is white passing. They're not even really white folks like that. You know, a lot of them is Irish descendants and shit like that. Some of them is related to you through your Irish bloodline. Some of them is related to you through your Indian bloodline, right? But when you talk about white passing, though, it ain't necessarily got to be like biracial mix. Sometimes, in some cases, you could be a full-blooded Indian and just be light-skinned with recessive traits, and you'll still be labeled as white or white passing as well, too. Because there's a lot of full-blooded Indians that just have recessive traits to them that make them look white passing. And that is a real thing as well, too. And that's another great area in history that people don't talk about. Right? That's just that's another great area in history that a lot of people don't talk about, right? That's why I always tell y'all that history is not black and white. There's a lot of shades of gray to that motherfucker. Especially when you start talking about the intertribal wars, half bloods versus full bloods and shit like that. Some of your half bloods was white passing people. You know what I'm saying? Your full bloods, of course, is us. And it's all about land, which is a family thing that was going on. A family rival of who will get land. Like, think about it. Think about having a rich granddaddy. He passed away. He writes a will. He leaves the will to the full-blooded Indian family. The mixed bloods will be mad and they will try to go behind your back to get the land and the inheritance and shit like that. And that happens still to this day with a lot of families. And there you go, right there. That's how the division started. And the white Europeans who was coming in during Ellis Island and all of that, they played on that family separation. They played on that. Okay, so since you don't like them anyways, work with us, help us, and we'll help you. It was that type of relationship. They were called gingers because of their freckles. Yeah. Freckles ain't nothing but melanin. The Appalachian white folks are definitely white passing. That's my mom's side. We have Indian in them. Yeah, the Appalachian folks is definitely our cousins. When you talk about the Melungeons and the Appalachian tribes and all of that, yeah, those are definitely our cousins. As Black Americans will find some cousins up there. Believe it or not. So, but we gonna dive back into that white passing history a little bit more. Let's see. Recap weekend. What we recapping? We gonna recap this book right here. So I brought this book out earlier this week. We gonna keep reading from it, but it's the recap weekend, so I'm bringing it out for those who probably missed it live when I read from this book. We ain't get too deep into it. We just read a couple of things because I was ending the live. What's happening, Katabu? What's happening, I am Stats? Peace. So if y'all want to screenshot this, y'all can. I'm gonna leave this up for a second for those who like doing their own research and building their book collection. Here's a good one for y'all. If you need more correlations of Egypt and America, here you go right here. Right, some curious evidence. All right, this is some curious ass evidence. What's that, Flex? American was good. All right. We got 83 people in here. Just get 83 reposts jumping. If y'all haven't reposted live, make sure y'all do. Thank y'all for the likes, the love, the gifts. Y'all the real MVPs. Y'all already know what it is, right? All right. So inside this book, right? Let's go ahead and start breaking it down, right? And it says Egyptian visits to America. Now this author, right? This author is telling you, this author is breaking down this book in the standpoint of, how can I say? So the author is breaking down this book in the standpoint of the story being told the way that we know, right? He hasn't understood that the Egyptians and the Americans are the same people, right? But the curious evidence that he's talking about is like, he's coming to the conclusion slowly, like, I think these the same people. But he starts off separating them, right? Because that's what he's doing. He's like, okay, Egyptians, Americans, and then he started breaking it down, right? And then by the conclusion and close to the end of the book, he's like, I think these the same people, fam. So this is what's happening, Sister Soul. What's happening? I appreciate that. So in this book, this is the standpoint that he coming from. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Right? From what the standpoint that he's talking about, y'all get what I'm saying? Like in the beginning, he think that these are separate people till he start giving you the evidence and shit, going over it. And then by the end, he like, I really think these the same motherfuckers. So yeah. So that's the standpoint that he coming from. So we're gonna have to dodge some hijacks in there because of the standpoint that he coming from. So, but we know the truth now, right? So we know. So we're going to plug it in as we go. So it says Egyptian visits to America, even though Egypt is in America and the Egyptians are Negroes. Peep game. So as I have recently made a remarkable discovery of general interest, I take pleasure in making the preliminary announcement. Egypt and the Yucatan were in close communication. Hold on. Damn. Okay, there we go. Egypt and the Yucatan were in close communication long before our era. From several indications, it appears that the Egyptians visited America in 3000 BC. Now we're going to stop right there. The Egyptians didn't visit America in 3000 BC. Better yet, the American Indians, who are called Egyptians, left America in 3000 BC. All right. But let's keep going though. So the Egyptians visit America about 3000 BC, and also that they establish a colony, right? The Atlantean colony, right? In this brief article, the evidence is brought out in the following order. 1, the Egyptians knew of the existence of the American continent, right? The Egyptians knew of the existence of the American continent. Now, how did they know of the existence of the American continent? Well, they knew about the existence of the American continent, which is called Atlantis, right? Listen, they knew about the existence of America, which is called Atlantis, because America, Atlantis, and the Egyptians, ancient Egyptians, are the same people, right? America, Atlantis, as the certain which has hitherto concealed the prehistoric connection between the peoples of ancient Egypt and of America, is lifted. It will be seen that the people of the eagle on the Nile, being descended from the original people of the eagle of this continent. And remember that eagle is the phoenix, right? Peep game. The sun. The twine are one, right? The twine are one. And that the prehistoric America was the original Egypt, or the eagle land. So the reason why the ancient Egyptians knew of the existence of America is because they was the Americans that was leaving America to tell people who they was, right? Peep game. Right? So we go back to it, right? So that's how the Egyptians knew of the existence of the American continent, because the Egyptians are the Americans. That's how they know of the existence of the continent, right? They possess vessels able to cross the Atlantic, for number 2. Number 3, the legends of the Maya Indians assert that their culture came to them across the ocean from the east. Remember, it's told in reverse, right? If the Egyptians are the Americans, then the Maya Indians would have said that their culture left America and spread to the east, because that's what happened. Because when the deluge happened, the Mayans left South America, the Yushi Mayas, right? They left South America and they went east, which put them in North Africa, in Europe, and Ireland, right? They went east. Dodge the hijack, right? They telling you the story backwards. So in reality, the Maya Indians left America and the culture went across the ocean to the east. Peep game. Yeah, the deluge, the great floods. The great floods, the little ice age, all that happened. All right. So peep game. So, and I got a book about that too, but I don't feel like scrolling down showing y'all, but just take my word on that one, right? Show y'all one day. So the ruins in the Yucatan, actually, I can show y'all in a minute. But anyways, the ruins in Yucatan resemble the early Egyptian architecture. The ruins in the Yucatan resemble the Mayan architecture. Well, who had knowledge of geometry? The sacred geometry. Who had knowledge of that? The Americans. The Americans are the Egyptians. The Egyptians are the Americans. Right? They're one and the same. Right? They wanted to save. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get my background right because I got this white wall and shit, blurring it out for y'all. All right. Can y'all see my background good? Okay, cool. So, right? So they one and the same. We just read that, right? Ancient Egypt and the Americans, the twine was one, meaning they're one and the same, right? So it makes sense why the ruins in Yucatan resemble early Egyptian architecture. Now, when they say the ruins in the Yucatan and shit, let me show y'all something. All right, let me show y'all something. So they say that the ruins in the Yucatan resemble Egyptian architecture. Now, if you was to go down to Mexico and or whatever, and you go to the Aztec pyramid, you have an Ankh right there. Listen to what I'm telling you and look at my neck, right? You go visit the Aztec pyramid, right? And let me give y'all a little something. Some of this stuff ain't even the Aztec, right? A lot of this stuff is the Mayans and the Olmecs. And what happened is the Mayans and the Olmecs abandoned these areas, and the East Asians came in and inhabited these areas. So writers would say that this shit is Aztec and all that, but it's really not. But anyways, we ain't gonna get into all that right now. But you can go to the Aztec pyramids in Mexico, and you'll find the Ankh right there. You'll find the Ankh right there. You'll find the Ankh right there. And you can still go there and see this shit. So they say that the ruins of the Yucatan resemble Egyptian archaeology. Now, my thing is this. What did the American Indians look like to build this? Who was the Indians that built that, and what did they look like? The Ankh. It's not spelled like UNC, but yeah. But what did the Indians look like that built this? Because I doubt that these was the folks on the reservation. I know it wasn't these people that built the and the pyramids and shit. Come on, y'all. And remember, the ancient Egyptians are the Americans. So who is the invaders? If the Egyptians and the Indians are the same, then who is the invaders? And I doubt that these people built the pyramids in the Ankh. Once again, Yucatan resembles Egyptians because the Egyptians and the Mayan Indians are the same people. Even the hieroglyphs. Even the hieroglyphs. So who is these people? I was standing next to little Jose inside the gas station. I was getting gas yesterday. Little Jesus was inside the store yesterday, and they still this size. Look, man, I'm 6'2.5", 6'3" on a good day. Man, I tower over you. I be looking at them like this. When they be walking, they be having like the big bag of ice, some Modelo's and shit. They be walking out the little gas station. I be looking at their ass. They be going to work and shit. They about to get fucked up at work. I be looking like this nigga right here, towering over him, right? 6'3". Nigga be like 5'2", 4'11". Like, we know that these people ain't build no pyramids. Stop playing. We know these people ain't build no pyramids. Stop playing. We know they ain't build no pyramids. The women be the same height as they kids, man. Come on. Come on. Come on, man. Come on. These folks really think that Columbus came over here and seen this and was like, oh, yeah, these Indians are robust and thick. Come on. They really think the explorers came over here and was like, the Indians are robust and thick. Like, come on, man. Stop playing. Stop playing, bro. Look, man. Come on, man. Come on, broski. Y'all know I ain't playing, man. Look, bro. They want y'all to think that these are the Indians that the explorers seen when they came here. Even though we got books, 12 on the clock, we got books of these people describing the Indian women to us, and they said that the Indian women was beautiful, copper color. You know, they was robust, right? They had nice legs, ox. You know how they be describing women and shit like that. Like they ain't described like this. I'm just saying they not. And then when you look at the old pictures, the drawings of the Indians, and even the 1800 pictures of the Indians and shit, they ain't like this. The women ain't built like this. Right? Right? When they came over here, the motherfucker, the explorers wasn't marrying this. Who's the Indian for real that people be talking about? Because it ain't this, and it ain't the other picture. Neither one of them described how the books is describing them. And yes, this is a Native American woman who works for the BIA, Indian. All right, come on, man, come on. So I mean, all I know is they don't look like Indians to me. And they don't look like the Indians to the Indians. That's all I'm saying. And if we're finding out that Egypt and America and Atlantis is the same place, which means that the original people is the same people, and the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, are called Negroes in history. So if the ancient Egyptians are called Negroes in history, and the ancient Egyptians and the Americans are the same, and the Atlanteans are the same people, because Egypt is in America, Egypt, Atlantis, same shit, same people, and they are described as Negroes, then these ain't Negroes. These ain't Negroes. These ain't colored people. These ain't colored people. These ain't Negroes. These ain't black people. Because American Indians was reclassified to colored. These people weren't drinking in no colored water fountains. These motherfuckers was on a reservation at this time. They weren't drinking from no colored water fountains at the same time Indians was being reclassified to colored. A lot of this stuff ain't rocket science. If you got the slightest common sense and logic, just gotta use it. Right? You said, how you indigenous and you only speak one language? How you know I speak one language? I don't know you, you don't know me. How you know I speak one language? Y'all be coming in here saying shit about people that y'all have never met a day in your life. You don't know shit about me. You don't know how many languages I speak. You don't even know my real name. You said speak my language then? Why would I speak my language to a person who don't speak my language? It ain't like you gonna understand it. The fuck? Why would I speak my language to a motherfucker? And I ain't gotta prove shit to you. I don't even know who the fuck you is. The fuck I look like proving something to a nigga that I don't know. Last thing I'm gonna do is argue with a nigga about niggas being original, right? I'm talking about white people and there's a nigga in my comments mad than a motherfucker. Look at that. See that's that coonery that I be talking about. I'm exposing white people pretending to be Indians and there's a nigga in the comments mad than a motherfucker. I don't speak an African language either. So I guess I ain't African. By y'all logic, you're not indigenous because you don't speak indigenous languages, even though you don't know what the fuck I speak. Well, and by your logic, I'm not African either because I don't speak shit African. You see how crazy that shit sound? One thing I learned about speaking the truth is that I'm gonna have to go against people that look like me the most, which is the saddest thing of being a truth speaker. Being a truth speaker, you find yourself going against niggas more than you do these people, which actually says a lot if y'all paying attention. Because I told you what, a lot of people that's pulling the strings don't even look like this. They look like you. A lot of people who is hindering the progress of our people don't even look like this. They look like you. So this is why when you come out here and you speak the truth and it's niggas defending this shit, is because one or two reasons. They probably date a white woman, or they probably date a white woman. But anyways, though, moving on. Moving on. Shit, he might be African for real. Shit, everybody is not a black American. I do understand that. Shit, that nigga might be African. He might be a Nigerian cosplaying. Yeah. It's always niggas. Man, shout out to everybody that's in here, though, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Nah, I'm not emotional. I'm just being real. It's always niggas. That's not being emotional. That's telling the truth. I'm exposing white people for pretending to be original, and yo ass, who is a nigga, is defending they ass. That's not emotional. You just exposed yourself to be a coon. But I'm gonna have to expose you, or I'm gonna have to escort you to the other side of the live. You want interracial live. See, we don't pander to your type of people, right? We're gonna slide you to the interracial lives. We're gonna slide you to the interracial lives, right? Just go back to these books that a lot of these niggas don't know nothing about because them niggas don't read shit. So going back to a book that these niggas don't know about. So Pete Gay, right? Pete Gay. Where we at with it? Yeah. So this book is called The Anaclipsis, and I'll go to the cover in a second for those who want it, right? More correlations, cross-referencing. This is what we call cross-referencing, right? You take multiple references and sources, you cross-reference them to get the answer, right? So when you cross-reference everything that we talked about, right? America, Atlantis, original Egypt, all being one, then you're going to pull out the Anaclipsis book, right? And you're going to read it. And it says, Dr. Pritchard has observed that the Bohemians are, as might be expected, the finest formed race in India. What India if this book was written in 1832? America. He has also shown in a very satisfactory manner, listen, that the ancient Egyptians, who are we talking about this whole live, right? The original, right? The ancient Egyptians, the masters of Thebes, were Negroes. The ancient Egyptians, the masters of Thebes, were Negroes. The ancient Egyptians, the masters of Thebes, were Negroes, right? They were Negroes. We're talking about Negroes because we're talking about ancient Egyptians visiting America. Egypt is in America. The Egyptians and the Americans are the same. So if the Egyptians are Negroes, then the Americans are Negroes. Right? This is why the ruins in the Yucatan resemble the early Egyptian architecture, because they're the same people. Number 5, a large statue discovered in Mexico in 1839 is apparently of Egyptian design, of course, because they are the same people. All right. Number 6, the ancient Mayas greatly resembled the Egyptians in both physique and character. So that means that the Mayans looked like the Egyptians. That's what it means. If I resemble physique and character, it means I look like the Egyptians. So the Mayans and the Egyptians, they look alike because they're the same people. And they're Negroes. Right? Because that's what we just read, right? The ancient Egyptians, masters of Thebes, were Negroes, so-called black skin with woolly curly hair. And then they just said that the Mayans resembled the ancient Egyptians in physique and character because they the same people. Right? Hey, appreciate that, 4D. Right? Because they the same people. The language of modern Maya Indian contains several hundred recognizable Egyptian words. Right? The language of the modern Maya Indians contain several hundred recognizable Egyptian words. Several hundred recognizable ancient Egyptian words. And when they say modern Maya Indians, they not just talking about Guatemala and all that. They talking about a lot of North American Indians too, like the Yamasees, like the Maya Indian, the Itza Creek, the Yuchi Creek, the Shadas, the Chickasaws. Yeah. Geechee. Yeah, pretty much mound builders, Mississippians, right? Since we descend from the Mayas and the Olmecs as well too, right? So peep game, what is AIVE for real? AIVE, American Indian Vernacular English. What is that for real? Because that's what we speaking as Black Americans. We speak AIVE, which is American Indian Vernacular English. What is this commerce language that was created by our ancestors so we could communicate with our cousins everywhere? Peep game. American English is not the same as so-called British English. Dodge the hijack with the word English, right? These two languages evolved separately for more than 300 years. They're not the same. And I got a source on that too. Right? So let's keep going. So the hieroglyphic alphabet of the ancient Mayas, as crudely recorded by Diego de la Landa in 1565, contained at least 12 letters expressing the same sound for the same thought as the Egyptians, because they're the same people. All right. Number 9, a more careful studies of both alphabets shows the current identity of several letters. Number 10, it is even possible to read a few words of the Hierro to undecipherable Mayan hieroglyphs by spelling them out directly in Egyptian. So they saying that they was able to decipher what they thought was undecipherable in the Mayan hieroglyphs until they started using Egyptian, right? Because they was like, shit, if everything resembled Egyptian so far, right? Let's use ancient Egyptian language to decipher the Mayan shit. And they used it and they were able to do it. And it was like, damn, how? I'm telling you, like, this is what the evidence is, right? He's putting it all on the table, and he's saying, like, damn, bro, hold on. By the conclusion is these gotta be the same people. They are the same people. They are the same people. You said, where did the Egyptians come from? America. That's what we're saying right here, right now. Right? And I'm not talking about these niggas. For those who's new to my live and those who's new to this information and shit like that, and you still kind of sleep and woken, we're not talking about this shit. When we talk about Egyptians and shit, we ain't talking about this. Nah, we ain't talking about that. Give that shit back to the McGraw-Hill book and National Geographic and Hollywood and shit. You know what I'm saying? You give that shit back. We ain't talking about these niggas. Right? We ain't talking about these niggas, right? We ain't talking about these culture vulture that nigga, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. Because y'all know the real identity thefts and culture vultures in the world are, you know, I'm just being real. Y'all know who the real culture vultures is. Because if the Egyptians are actually Negroes and the Indians isn't it, they're the same people. And come on, man, look at all the stuff. It's all niggas. This is our shit that they stole. They don't even look right in our attire. They don't even look right in our attire. For real. You can and listen closely to what I'm saying. You can take a black American and put him in Egyptian attire and that shit looks natural. You seen Michael Jackson do it all the time. You seen the Richard Pryor skits and shit like that with Saturday Night Live. You done seen Eddie Murphy. You done seen this shit. When you take a black American phenotype and you put that shit in an Egyptian garment, that shit fit natural. Looks like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. When you put a black American inside American Indian attire, that shit fits. You be like, damn, hold on, nigga, that shit look fly. When our sisters and our brothers put on some Chinese shit, we add that sauce to it, that spice. Like, nigga, this shit I could fuck with it. You feel me? That shit do look good on you, nigga. You like, yeah, did you see this shit? Yeah. Why is it that we look better than other motherfuckers in their so-called shit if it was theirs? It's because it ain't their shit. It ain't their shit. The same people that brought you this, it's the same people that brought you that, it's the same people that brought you this, it's the same people that brought you this. It's the four main identities that these people want so bad. I wish I had space to put the Jews up here, but I didn't have space to put that up there. But the 5 identities that belong to you is the ones that they want. Them niggas don't want to be Germans. Like, look at, like, for real, think about it. They don't want to be wild men. They don't want to be German. But for some crazy reason though, when you get into some historical shit like hieroglyphs, see the goatee. When you get into some hieroglyphs, don't they do blackface? Like when they do blackface, don't they have the red lips on the blackface? When they do blackface, making a fun of you, don't they over exaggerate the red lips? Who's doing the blackface? The motherfuckers that you didn't was pulling by their wigs for centuries. The reason why they don't like you, Black American, is because you used to whoop their ass for centuries. Are y'all listening to me? The reason why they don't like you, because everybody always want to ask that question. I'm gonna give you the answer. Man, why the fuck they be fucking with Black Americans, bro? Them niggas be acting like we did something to them. You did. You don't remember because they gave you amnesia, but they remember. They remember getting that ass whooped. You don't forget an ass whooping. You don't forget an ass whooping. Don't be real. You like they have never forgot who you was. They have never forgot who you was. These two people are the same people, technically. All right. Come on, man. You said so. Did the Greeks conquer Egypt? Who are you? Got to ask yourself, who are the Greeks? If you want to know about the Greeks conquering Egypt, you got to ask yourself, who's the Greeks and who told you the story about the Greeks conquering Egypt? Because this live, I'm exposing and telling you that a lot of people that you think are different people are actually the same people. Real shit. That's mainly the whole purpose of my live, is to inform you that a lot of people in history that you think are different people in different cultures are actually the same people in same cultures. So who are the Greeks? Where do the Greeks come from? My bad. So you gotta ask yourself, who are the original Greeks? And when you say that the Greeks invaded Egypt, who are you talking about? Exactly. The Greeks are the Creeks, Creek Indians. Your ancient Greeks are your Creek Indians, actually. That is a fact, yes. Hmm. That is a fact. I got a couple of sources on that. Some of y'all have brought that out. Some of y'all have brought that out. Yep. Hey, a lot of stuff is right here in America. They just took it overseas to change history. That's all they did. They took most of the history that's actually from America. They took it, split it up, gave it to specific regions because they all in on it, and they regurgitated back as these were separate people. But they know that these are all the same people, right? When you talk about the Carthaginians, the Phoenicians, you talk about Mayans, Olmecs, Incas, Levantas. You talk about the mound builders, pyramid builders. You talk about Atlanteans, Egyptians, Algonquins. These are all the same people: Sephardics, Moors, Chaldeans, Druids, Picts, Blackamoors, Berbers, Tuaregs, Mauritanians. These are all the same people. Gypsies, same people. All of these is like real shit. These are all the same people. And it all comes back here to America. Even Sanskrit, like Sanskrit comes from America. And it was one of our tongues that we spoke. And we actually still speak Sanskrit in a way, but we don't know that we speak in certain words that is actually Sanskrit, that is in our Ebonics and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for an example, back in the time when we used to refer to the za as ganja, right? And it means exactly what it means in Sanskrit. Like, ganja is a Sanskrit word, and it means exactly what we use ganja for. The plant that we, yeah, it means that, and it's Sanskrit. But something as simple as that, and how we put it and use it in our Ebonics, when it's an actual ancient ass word that we never even fucking know. And there's a lot of words in your Ebonics that's tied to a lot of ancient words and shit that you do not know. A lot of it is your Indian word, indigenous American words, Sanskrit, Hebrew, Aramaic, goddamn, Arabic, Latin, Phoenician. Like, there's a lot of words that we speak on a day-to-day basis that come from these languages. Like, we still speak ancient language today. This is why I don't nobody. Our English is one of the hardest Englishes to learn. It is. Everybody tell you that Mandarin and all that shit is the hardest language to learn. That's false. American English and Ebonics is the hardest shit for other people to learn. Other motherfuckers learn how to speak this shit easy. But when they come to America, boy, they be struggling like a motherfucker. You like, what the fuck you just say? they be struggling like a motherfucker to understand and speak this shit. It be a nigga that speak like 10, 12, and this nigga speak Mandarin, this nigga speak French, this nigga speak goddamn Arabic and African language, but when you come to America, this nigga just can't get that damn American shit right. Like, real shit. They can't get it. It be hard, like it take people generations and generations and generations to learn this shit. You feel me? So they telling you history all backwards to hide the trueness of America. Put it like that. You know, and then, like I said, a lot of these just be the same people, just like how the gods be the same people, right? So now, since we know that Egypt, Atlantis, America, so now we know that Egypt, America, Atlantis, India Superior, all the same people. We know that the ancient Egyptians are the descendants of the original people of America, right? So they're the children. Still the same people, but they're the children, right? So now the question is, are Black Americans connected to Thoth the Atlantean? Right? Are Black Americans connected to Thoth the Atlantean? Because they said that we are made in the image and likeness of our Creator. Now, if you know something about Thoth, you know that he is the scribe, the inventor of letters, knowledge, wisdom, geometry, and so on and so forth, right? What have we been learning this whole time? What knowledge did the Moors and the Indians take to civilize Europe, right? Peep game. He is also known as the master trickster, too, right? He is also known as the master trickster, right? He like a good joke. You feel me? And you know somebody else who like a good joke? Black Americans. That's why you're the best comedians. Real shit. You are made in the image and likeness of your Creator. You are made in the image and likeness of your Creator. You like a good joke like he like a good joke. A good trick, a good prank. You know what I'm saying? This is why some of y'all had the thought like, damn, bro, God has to have a sense of humor. He does. Twisted kind of way, but you know. Real shit. All right. I don't know what you talking about, Jimmy, but we gonna have to escort you out of here. I don't know what you talking about, big dog. All right, let's keep going though. So now, right? So, Thoth, the Creator, right? Gods, right? Giants, right? Because you have to know who Thoth is now. Right? You have to know who Thoth is now. Oh, y'all ain't got to respond to Jimmy. He a troll. I already blocked him, right? Because he don't know what we talking about because he hasn't went this deep, right? And he probably a troll. So, what do I mean by you got to understand who Thoth is now when you break it down to metaphysics to physical form, right? So most of us are familiar with Thoth that look like this, right? We, you know, the Ibis head and stuff like that, right? And then you see the sun on top of his head, which is key, right? Which is key. Which is key. The sun over Thoth, right? All right. For those of y'all who don't know, Thoth is also Buddha. So now you know what Thoth looked like. See, you only knew Thoth by hieroglyphs and shit like that, right? But Thoth is Buddha. This is Buddha. Or Gautama, should I say, because that's his real name. His real name is Guata or Gautama, like Guatemala. Yeah, the Mayas, right? His mother is Maya, right? Buddha was his title. Okay, Buddha is a title. His real name is Guata or Gautama. His mother is Maya, right? Mayans, right? There's also Thoth in history. The Atlantean god, the scribe, right? Thoth, right? The scribe is also inside your Bible. How many of y'all knew that? There's 125 people in here. Let's get 125 reposts. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, right? How many of y'all knew that Thoth is in your Bible? in the Old Testament. Do y'all know that? Right. My bad, y'all. So if y'all, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but if y'all want to screenshot this book, you can. This book pretty much breaks down. Thoth is in your Bible. Let me go up in the comments to see how many of y'all knew that. Because I'm asking for a reason. Yeah, shout out to somebody who said Gabriel. Facts. Right. Mm-hmm. So what do I mean by Thoth is in your Bible? So remember in Genesis when they say in the beginning was the Word and the Word was with God. Okay, that word that was with God was Thoth, the scribe, logos, right? Thoth or thought. If you're looking at it from an esoteric, a Gnosticism sense, right? Thought, right? Thought. Before anything become a sound, it starts as a thought, consciousness. Then it becomes word and vibration, right? So in the beginning was the word was with God. Now, who's God? God is monad. And what I mean by monad, I mean the one, the source, pure consciousness. And you know that this is true because pure consciousness is omnipotent, omnipresent. Pure consciousness is everywhere. You're breathing consciousness right now and don't even know it. Why do I say that? If you hold your breath until you pass out, it's because you lost consciousness. When you start to breathe again from holding your breath, you start regaining consciousness. So you're breathing and swimming in consciousness all around you, right? So consciousness, omnipresent, omnipotent, the one, the source, the collective consciousness, 144 hertz vibration, unity consciousness, right? In the beginning was the word was with God, thought was with God, thought. So inside Genesis, thought is the logos. Now, if you follow logos all the way down, you'll get into the different incarnations of thought out of history. And then you'll start to see and understand why I say that a lot of these deities is just the same deity being reborn. That's why they got the same birthday, because it's the same person. Thought. right? Peep game. And Thoth also told you that he go by many names as well too. Many incarnations, many names, same being or deity. Right? Just like how you got many names. Remember, you are made in the image and likeness of your creator. Okay? You are made in the image and likeness of your creator. So you have different names as well too as American Indians. Right? Your mama call you something different than your daddy. Your daddy call you something different than your siblings. Your siblings call you something different than your cousins. Your cousins call you something different than your auntie. Your auntie call you something different than your uncle. Your uncle call you something different than your childhood friends. Your childhood friends got a different nickname than your modern friends in your adult life. And they probably ain't even got no nickname for you because you just met them. So in reality, you got like 8 names at best. So you go by many names as well too. Oh, and for some of the brothers out there who didn't live that street life, we got 9 because you done gave the police a fake name before too. You know, we all have been there before. What's your name? I ain't got my ID. Give me your name and I'll type it in. Oh yeah, my name Johnson or Jacob or y'all know niggas done did that before. So they got 9, right? Women. A guy tried to holler at you and ask your name, you done gave that nigga a fake name before too. Your name be like Vicky or some shit or Sharonda. You told that nigga your name was Tina. You know what I'm saying? You done gave niggas fake, right? Master trickster is your god, right? You gotta trick these motherfuckers that you don't want to be talking to and shit. You feel me? You come from the master trickster, and at every given time you will pull a trick to save your ass. The police pull you up, you gonna try and trick them. A motherfucker try to come holler at you and you don't want to fuck with him, you gonna try and trick him to leave you the fuck alone. Like we do tricks. We ain't about to look. I'm telling you, you was made in the image and likeness of your creator. That's why I asked, are Black Americans connected to Thoth? Because when you break down Thoth and you break down Black Americans, we got a lot of the same attributes. Real shit. We got a lot of the same attributes. We are children of the sun. Thoth is known as the sun. Listen to what I'm telling you. We are known as children of the sun. Thoth, when you break it down, he is the sun. Because when you break down all his incarnations, it's always sun deities. Buddha is a sun deity. Krishna is a sun deity. So-called Jesus is a sun deity, right? Most of the times he's a sun deity. The Ibis is the phoenix is the sun. Lucifer is the sun, the morning star. It's all Thoth, the sun. His mother is Maya. Maya is the daughter of Gaia, Earth. You dig what I'm saying? So peep game, and you the children of them, right? Come on. But I'm gonna get out the screen so y'all can screenshot this. This is a nice read. I got a whole lot of Thoth and Hermes books and all of this stuff, you know, Gnosticism, esoteric, and all of that theological, philosophical works and everything. It gets deep with these books. It all came out of ancient Egypt, aka America. It all came out of America. That's what we did when you travel the world. We gave them different names. Yeah. Some people call us Indians. Some people call us Atlanteans. Some people call us Americans. Some people call us Sephardic. Some people call us Moors. Some people call us Egyptians, Gypsies, Picts, Druids, Chaldeans, Shamans. We got a lot of names of what we called in history. The most important is that you understand that they talking about you in history. Because you're the only person that they took out of history, which wasn't suspicious at all. Which wasn't suspicious at all. That Black Americans is the only ones that was taken out of history. Everybody else shit still in the books. Your shit got taken out though. You know, so-called Chinese people still in there. The false Greek history, fake Romans in there. The damn Arabs in there. The Africans is in there. Everybody shit there. Black American. Okay, well, what about Black Americans? You guys were slaves. That's it. Yeah, you niggas just appeared mysteriously on slave boats and landed in America and shit like that. You know, the motherfuckers just enslaved you. And Abraham Lincoln freed you, and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and nigga and Obama. That's y'all history. What the fuck is he talking about? What? Yeah, that's y'all history. Nothing else. Don't ask questions. Don't read no books, nigga. Just take it and call yourself black. This shit getting real suspect out here in these streets, bro. And it seemed like everybody got the same script. It seemed like everybody got the same script. Did we miss a meeting? Did we miss a community meeting or some shit where everybody got a script except for us? That's not suspicious at all, though. And y'all always trying to send a nigga to Africa. Why? For real, like, why y'all trying to send black Americans to Africa so bad while bringing Africans to America? That's not suspicious at all either. Niggas is trying to send you to Africa while bringing Africans to America. That's not suspicious at all. That's not suspicious at all. That's why the truth will set you free, man. I'm telling you, man, just keep going through these sources, man. And I'm gonna re-bring out this live. You know, a lot of my OGs probably remember when I did this, but for all the new people and shit that just tuning in, I'm gonna redo the live. Right, I did a live segment when I broke down how all the gods is pretty much the same God. But not all the gods, but the sun deity, should I say, right? And other guys too. But then once you understand that, then you can also understand that a lot of false deities are the same deity as well too. Because if you gotta have an opposition, right? So even the opposition go by many names in many of the same faces if you actually look at them, right? You know, Zeus, Serapis, and so-called Jesus that they give you, right? But we know that this ain't Jesus or Christ, but you have to understand who this is, right? The sun is very telling behind them, but what they did was they took Thoth and corrupted the image. This is the beginning of the spell that they put on you. They took your agnosticism and mysticism and imagery, corrupted it, and gave it back to you. And a lot of y'all is worshiping Baal or Baal, as you call them, or the Baphomet, or Marlock or Moloch, who was once original form was Thoth and Buddha and all of that I just showed you, right? The Negro guys and stuff, right? When they corrupted it, they put Baal and Moloch. Right? Marduk, yeah. So P gang. And you know, and I broke it down, right? Zeus, Serapis, Christ, the evolution of Christianity. How they took a lot of thought characteristics and they added it to their pagan deities that they worship. Right? So here's a screenshot of a real map if y'all want this. of America being called Atlantis, so y'all know it ain't just talk, but it's real maps and shit of back in explorer times, right? Atlantis Insula, meaning Atlantis Island. This is an island. Atlantis. You still live in Atlantis. It has never sunk. They lied to you. Right? Oceanus, the guy Oceanus, right? Remember the Lost Histories of America book? We was talking about the guy Oceanus. Right? Yeah. If y'all want to get this screenshot real quick. He said they mad, scared, and hungry. Oh yeah, they definitely getting hungry. You heard the original map is upside down? Uh-huh. I say it's upside down or widely exaggerated. All right. So if Thoth is an Atlantean and America is Atlantis, which is Egypt, and the original people are Negroes, aka Black Americans, El Negro, Olmec, Inca, Levanta. Have y'all ever have y'all ever questioned why Black Americans are more attracted to Egyptian symbolism than Africans? Y'all ain't never do that. See, I have an overthinking mind. I'm an overthinker, like real shit. And I recognize shit that a lot of people don't recognize the shit, right? I guess it's how my brain works. But I noticed that a lot of Africans don't really give a fuck about Egyptian symbolism like that. They don't really care too much about Egyptian shit for real at all. Like they don't give a fuck about that shit for real. But Black Americans though, it's something about it that we are attracted to. Like it's a feeling when we see it. We get a feeling when we see pyramids and one eye symbolisms and unks and a lot of esoteric Gnosticism symbols because that's what it is, right? That's because it's your shit. That's not their shit. That's why they have no ties and no ancestral connection to it. They don't feel no type of way about it. They let the white Arabs pretend to be Egyptians all day long. They don't give a fuck about that. We the only ones that pretty much be exposing that shit. Like them niggas ain't the real Egyptian. You would think Africans would come out and be talking about that shit, but they don't even be talking about that shit. They be arguing with each other on TikTok, but that shit be crazy. Right? So it's all about reconnecting ancestrally. All right. All right. So have y'all seen this before? Have y'all seen this image before? And if y'all have, can y'all tell me where y'all seen it at? Right? The shepherd with the sheep. Y'all never seen this before? Let me help y'all out. What if I do it like this? Do this image ring a bell yet? What? Where have you seen this at? You said the Bible. And who was the shepherd in the Bible? There we go. So-called Jesus and the Lamb. Jesus and the Lamb, right? That's what they told you. This ain't Jesus. I'm pretty sure that y'all know this by now, right? But this ain't Jesus. Do y'all know who this really is? Like, do y'all know where they got Jesus and the Lamb from? Do y'all know who this really is? This is Hermes. This is Hermes. And we know that what? Hermes is who? This is called Hermes Kryphoros. Kryphoros is another name for Christ, right? For those who don't know, Kryphoros is another name for Christ. So this is Hermes Christ, right? Ram bearer. The ancient Greek epithet and artistic motif depicting the god Hermes carrying the ram or lamb, symbolizing his role as a pastoral protector and guardian of fertility. Guardian of fertility. Fertility goddess? The protector and guardian of the fertility goddess? Who is his mother? Hermes is Thoth. Thoth is Hermes. His mother is Maya. Maya is a fertility goddess. Once you understand that Maya is a fertility goddess, then you'll start to understand the connection between Maya, Mary, Isis, Suna, and all the other fertility goddess, who is the same goddess. And her son is the same God. Okay? Peep game. So fellas, you understand that you are the protector of the womb, the guardian of the woman. You do understand that, right, fellas? That's your role. It's a fact. Notice I said protector of goddesses. Don't be out here protecting Jezebels. Because we ain't about to sit here and act like everybody good and everybody from the good creation shit. The devil got some kids too, nigga. You feel me? So don't be out here protecting Jezebels. Don't have that Ahab spirit of simping. Okay? Don't be falling for these Jezebels and these lust demons and shit. You are the protector of goddesses. Okay? Goddesses. And the goddesses are protectors of the gods. Because you're going to always protect your son. Right? So that means that we protect each other. That's how you create balance. This is esoteric and Gnosticism. We protect each other, which means that we are in a monarch system, meaning balance. Men protect women, women protect men, and in return, we protect the kids. Peep game. Peep game. Peep game. It's called equally yoked equality. You can't have one without the other. Divine masculine, divine feminine need each other to thrive. We come from the monad. All right, we come from source, collective consciousness. All right, understand that this is a Gnosticism. This is your spiritual practice that they took from you as American Indians or ancient beings. Esoteric Gnosticism. And you know that it's true Because when you woke up and you was like, bro, I ain't about to go back to church, bro. I'm about to do my own. And you start going on your spiritual journey and shit. When you woke up, you started becoming esoteric in the Gnosticism, whether it was a little bit or a lot. The first thing you did, you start grabbing frankincense or incense. You start getting stones, gems, quartz, obsidians. You start learning about meditation. You start learning about as above, so below, as within, so without. You start learning about firmaments. You start learning about astrology, zodiacs, path numbers, and you know what I'm saying, Chiron energies, and you know what I'm saying, you really got into it. That's because you woke up and you tapped back into your original spirituality. So when people ask, what was you doing before colonization? You were spiritual, which is the shit that you still doing because you are always spiritual. Okay, nobody take your spirituality from you because it's something that you're born with. And a lot of people wouldn't understand that because a lot of people don't have a soul, right? But you have a soul, a consciousness. Whether you acknowledge it or you go against it. But in a lot of times when, you know, you ignore your consciousness, some bad shit happen, right? Or when you did some fucked up shit, your consciousness will eat at you. It's because you have a soul. You have knowledge of good and evil. Now, what you choose to do with it is on you, as long as you can accept the consequences behind your actions, right? But you have to understand karmic retribution as well, too, to clean your slate, right? This is where you get into universal laws. You know what I'm saying? And this is all things that they corrupted and gave it back to you and made you start like believing and worshiping in the low vibrational frequency of magic to the point to where you start casting spells on yourself. This is the reason why they need the population traumatized. And they traumatize you, right? Because we talk about MK Ultra and brainwashing and shit. It only works if we break your psychic, meaning we have to traumatize you. So this is why everybody is raised and grew up traumatized, PTSD. Some people got anxiety problems. Some people got avoidant problems. You know what I'm saying? Some people are introvert by nature. Some people are introvert because of the world. Like, it's all type of shit. They threw your nervous system out of whack. And your nervous system is very vital to how you move and behave as a being. So you have to re-regulate your nervous system, right? Because your nervous system is what connects you to a lot of things in the ethers, if you understand your nerves, right? That's why they look like wires and shit like that, right? And when they traumatize you, they crossed your wires, right? But we'll get into all that another live, right? Like I said, right? So they took your original image and corrupted it. Now, when I change it to this picture, now you, oh yeah, I did see that shit before. When I was actually, have y'all seen this statue before? And y'all was like, nah, I ain't never seen it. If I change it like this, have you seen that statue before? Yeah, you seen that statue before, but it wasn't. This is a white man. They turned him to a white man. So yeah, you seen that statue before. But you ain't know that they got this statue when they corrupted it from Thoth. This is the corrupted version of Thoth. Hermes, Thoth, a corrupted version of the sun. It says in all the black ass churches. All right. So yeah, y'all seen that statue before. Right. So inside that book that I gave y'all, the Hermes Trismegistus book, I hope y'all screenshot it for those who wanted the book. We ain't about to get too deep, but I just wanted to read this to y'all real quick so y'all can understand that I ain't just saying no shit, right? So the Mercury right? Because Thoth is Mercury too. For those who don't know, Mercury, when you talk about Greek mythology and you talk about Mercury, that's Hermes, that Thoth, same people, right? So the Mercuries, or Hermes Trismegistus, of legend, was a personage of an Egyptian sage. Who's the Egyptians? The Egyptian sage, or succession of sages, who, since the time of Plato, has been identified with Thoth, the name of the month September. How many of y'all knew that the month of September was named Thoth? Or September is Thoth? How many of y'all knew that? Excuse me. And we in July. We almost in the month of Thoth. That's what I'm going to start calling it. We almost in the month of Thoth. Right? So, Thoth, the name of the month September, right? Of that people. This Thoth is the reputed author of the Ritual of the Dead, right? This Thoth is the reputed author of the Ritual of the Dead. Who gave you the Book of the Dead? Thoth. And as styled in Egyptian, the manifestation of light to the soul, right? Thoth is the manifestation of light to the soul. The illuminated ones sound familiar? Illuminati. All right. To the soul, who through it declared the will of the gods. Now, it says the will of the gods, but if you grew up in a Christian church and you open up the Bible, it says the will of God. Ooh, boy, that damn Christianity and something else, ain't it, right? So the mysterious nature of divine things to man, right? Dr. Prishant Haman, which I probably butchered his name, but it's all good. In his works on Hermes, which exhaustively treats of this subject, gives a list of authorities for these facts, ranging from Plato down to Senecas. He states, however, on page 33, that by the time that the so-called Hermetical writings were collected together, the identity of Hermes with Thoth was forgotten. The identity of Hermes and Thoth was forgotten. So they saying by the time Hermetics, because that's what Hermetical writings are, Hermetics, by the time Hermetics was done writing and was all collected together, people forgot that Hermes and Thoth was the same person, right? And Thoth became his son Tat. Thoth became his son Tat. Tat is Buddha. Hermes, or listen, Thoth became his son Tat, meaning Thoth and Tat are the same people. This is where in Christianity they tell you that the Father and the Son is the same. Thoth became his son Tat. Tat is Buddha. Buddha is Thoth. The Father and the Son is one, right? And the Asclepius, his disciple, both of whom he instructs in the writings now translated, subsequently informs us, quoting Latron, that the epithet Trismegistus appears first in the 2nd century of Christian era, and that before that period, Hermes was designated to the repetition of only as on the Rosetta Stone. He was considered to be the impersonation of the religion, art, learning, and sacerdotal discipline of the Egyptian god priesthood Thoth. Same people. All right, same people. Same people, right? So, he said different times, yeah. So now, I ain't about to read all this. I just want to show y'all that that also, right? Listen, so fuck it, we'll get so philosopher, priest, and king, right? They talking about thrice greatest, right? Hermes, Thoth, right? A philosopher, priest, king. And that Hermes or Mercury's a messenger and authoritative interpreter of divine things. In the hieroglyphics, he, like Horus, is represented by a bird, right? Remember what this bird is, right? The phoenix, Phenok, the sun, right? With a hawk's head. And to him was sacred to Ibis and the moon. This Hermes, and there was but one among the ancient Egyptians, Americans, Negroes. Who are these ancient Egyptians we just got done reading about in America? Right? Who we just got done reading about? Ancient Egyptians, Americans, right? Was worshipped as God by them. All right. In ancient times, most authors were supposed to be, I will not say godlike, but actually gods. Now remember, the gods are giants, for those who don't know. Right? I got a book about when the giants ruled America and stuff like that. When you read stuff like this and they mentioning godlike and gods, they're talking about giants. So yes. So a lot of these people that have existed in so-called biblical times or ancient times, y'all be looking for like a regular sized person like me, but in reality, it was a giant mummy that they found. Because you got to remember, when people was buried back then, they were mummified. And they found over thousands of mummies over here. So any one of those mummies could have been any one of these motherfuckers that we reading about. We got to understand it. You dig what I'm saying? But they were giants at this time. The Gods of Egypt movie actually tells you that. What's happening, CEO? Peace. Right? Yeah, Titans and all of that. But if y'all ever watch the Gods of Egypt movie, it tells you that the guys were giants. Yeah, it's kind of like right there in plain sight. Right? But they were actual gods. As for instance, appreciate that, fam. Appreciate that. As for instance, the Egyptian Hermes, who is Thoth, to whom Plato paid very great differences. Clement in Alexandria writes Hermes of Thebes, right? Thoth of Thebes, and the Eclipsius of Memphis, right? Memphis, Tennessee, right? Because now we know what they talking about. Right, because it's refresh our memory, because now we know what they talking about, right? Ancient Egypt and America is one. Ancient Egyptians come from the original people of America. Who is the original people of America? Who is the original people of America? The ancient Egyptians descend from the original people of America. And that the ancient Egyptians or ancient Egypt in America is one. So when they talked about Thoth and Hermes and Buddha and Tad and all of this is happening right here in America. It's happening right here in America. Appreciate that gift, CEO. Appreciate that. It's happening right here in America. These are American gods. This is the reason why Black Americans have more of a connection to Egypt's symbolism than fucking Africans, because it ain't they shit. This shit is Hermetics. It was written for the children of the sun. Hermetics, real shit. Hermetics was written for the children of the sun. Hermetics is nothing but esoteric Gnosticism, the spirituality that, the basic spirituality that you woken up to, and it gets deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? But this is what it is. It was written for you by your ancestor, who is Thoth. That's why I asked the question earlier. Are Black Americans connected to Thoth the Atlantean? Yes. So when you open up the Old Testament in Genesis and it say, let us make man in our image and likeness, there's multiple deities. But your deity, you are created in his image and likeness. Right? You are created in his image and likeness. All right? You was created in his image and likeness. Because this is thought. All right? You was created in the image and likeness. As many times as I flip these pictures all week, y'all ain't never noticed that the Olmec head and Buddha resemble each other. Some of y'all probably did, but you know, the Olmec head and the Negro Buddha statue I just showed y'all resemble each other. Y'all ain't never noticed that. You were made in the image and likeness of your creator. Right? Peak game. Peak game. You sound surprised the nose ain't destroyed? Yeah, it'll probably be hard work trying to chip off that one. But they want y'all to believe that these are the Olmecs. But they want y'all to believe that these are the Olmecs. They want y'all to believe that these are the Egyptians, the Atlanteans, the original people of America. This is what they want y'all to believe. And sadly, a lot of people believe it though. Sadly, a lot of people believe it. But you can thank the Tavistock Institute for that. You can thank the Tavistock Institute for Human Relations for that. They are the ones that gave you the propaganda and the misinformation in your McGraw-Hill books because they work hand in hand with the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Board of Education. So you could thank them. They the ones that gave you all these crazy theories and shit. Appreciate the gifts, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Yep. Nah, we ain't going for that lie no more. Come on. And for those who like information in books, again, here's another source that y'all can screenshot. This book breaks down how they use propaganda, MK Ultra, and brainwashing the whole masses. Like it gets real deep into this book. So if y'all want to screenshot this, you can get this from archives.org and Google Books. And just read it in your off time. Whenever you got time, just read a page or two, read a chapter or two. This shit get deep. And the crazy thing is, the Tavistock Institute is not even in America. That shit is in Britain, or London, should I say. Them niggas is in London. They not even over here. That's why I said, I try to enlighten people that a lot of this shit that we discovering and uncovering, the people who is behind it, they don't even live in America. They don't even live in America. Shit, a lot of motherfuckers don't even live in America. You be a fool if you think them presidents live over here too. The presidents don't be living in America and shit. You ain't never seen the president at the grocery store. Them niggas don't live over here either. A lot of them niggas actually live in Europe, believe it or not. A lot of them niggas they live in Europe or go back and got houses over there and shit. Like, man, y'all will be surprised. Them niggas be calling shots from overseas. One of those city-states, London, Smithsonian, Vatican, yeah. They all go hand in hand. Washington, D.C., Smithsonian, Vatican, London, all of them go hand in hand. Well, I wouldn't say that they under British rule. They under the Vatican rule. Pretty much everybody is under the Vatican small hat rule. They just operate in these countries. It's not really 12. It's not really 12 different families. It's only one big ass family. And that's one of the biggest lies too that they done told people. They got people thinking like it's 12 different families. It's not even 12 different families. It's one big ass family broken down into 12 different sectors. For real, it's one big ass family broken down in 12 different sectors. The only real 12 bloodlines and 13 bloodlines is the original Aboriginal people of this earth. So our bloodline being one, the Polynesians and the Pacific Islanders being 1 and 2, Caribbeans 3, the Berbers, the North Africans that I told you about is 1. The ancient Egyptians that's still over here and over there, because we got some cousins over there as well too. The original Britons, the Irelands, the Scots, the real 12 families are the 12 Shemitic families. And these people ain't Shemites. So the 12 Shemitic is at 13. You know what I'm saying? 13 Shemitic numbers, because whether y'all know it or not, the number 13 actually is for us. And it symbolizes us so much. That's why they keep 13 population numbers, and a lot of shit is 13 with us. It's really for us. So there's 13 tribes of Nagas, 13 different bloodlines of Nagas, 13 different Shamite bloodlines. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. One of those bloodlines flipped on us and start siding with the oppressors. I don't even like calling them oppressors, but one of our bloodlines flipped on us and started siding with the other folks who's fucking with us and shit like that. So that 13 turned into 12. But in reality, it's 13. But on the real good side of things, it's 12 of us, because one of them flipped on us. Right. But yeah, 13 is the Christ, or the Christ energy. Facts. So 13 is very a good symbol for us as Black Americans. That's why they tried to make 13 an unlucky number when it's really a lucky number. That one bloodline was the start of the Destiny Swap. Yeah. That one bloodline that flipped on us is helping them trying to do a Destiny Swap, because it takes one of us to give them the information on how to oppress us in the first place, because these people are new mutations to the world. They don't really know shit about us for real. They don't know that certain frequencies and vibrations can manipulate our brain waves and melanin cells and all this other shit. They had to learn that from other melanated people who know this shit, right? And that came from one of the bloodlines that flipped on us, that had the ancient knowledge, and it came from other melanated people who ain't our people, who was also advanced in the world, because we wasn't the only advanced melanated race. There was other advanced melanated people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. What's happening in Fifth Ward? Peace. So yeah. Hold on. What's this? The Masters of Thieves, Negro Buddha. All right, we read that. Hold on. Trying to make sure we good. Hold on. Oh yeah, and this page is the Anaclipses. I'm gonna read this page and one more page, and we're gonna wrap it up for the day because I gotta get ready to go get my daughter. So at the top it says, it was the opinion of Sir William James that a great nation of blacks or Negroes formerly possessed the dominion of Asia, right? Held that seat of empire in Sidon. These must have been the people, right? These must have been the people called by Mr. Morris Cushites or Cuthites, described in Genesis. In the opinion that they were blacks is corroborated by the translators of the patriarch called the 70, constantly rendering the word Cush by Ethiopia. It is very certain that if this opinion will be founded, we must go for the time when this emperor flourished to a period anterior to all our regular histories. And it can only be known that to have existed from accidental circumstances which have escaped the ruins of empires and the wrecks of times, right? It's dropped down. The religion of Buddha of India, what India, right? America, right? The religion of Buddha of America, well known to have been very ancient. In the most ancient temples scattered throughout Asia, where his worship is yet continued, B is found black as jets, with a flat face, thick-lipped, and curly hair of the Negro. Several statues of him, which I have shown y'all, 7 statues of him may have been met with the museums of the East India Company. The Rothschilds controlled the East India Company, for those who don't know. There are 2 exemplars of him brooding on the face with the deep upon a curled serpent, right? He's brooding, right? Y'all know how we be brooding. We be out there just mean mugging, just, right? Brooding. All right. So to what time are we to allot this Negro, right? He will be proved to have been prior to the god called Krishna. He must have been prior to or contemporaries to the Black Empire, right? The Negro Empire, supposed by Sir William Jones to have flourished in Sidon. The religion of this Negro god is found by the ruins of his temples and other circumstances to have been spread over an immense extent of country, even to the remotest part of Britain, and to have been professed the devotions of inconceivably numerous. I very much doubt whether Christianity at this day was professed by more persons than yet professed the religion of Buddha. So they saying that more people were actually Buddhists, or more Negroes were Buddhists than Christians at this time, right? So let's drop down though to the bottom highlighted, because what people don't know about Ethiopia is that there are two Ethiopias. So thus again, there were several Alexandria libraries. There were several. They only told you about one being burned. In one close examination, we find two Ethiopias, right? We right here at the bottom, right? Two Ethiopias right here, right? In the examination, we find two Ethiopias alluded to in ancient history. One above higher or southern part of Egypt. Where is Egypt, y'all? Let's connect our dots. They said there's two Ethiopias. One above higher or southern part of Egypt. Where's Egypt? We just established that Egypt is in America. So there's an Ethiopia in America? Pete Gang. And the other somewhere to the east of it. Right? To the east of it. As it had been throughout in Arabia. The people of this latter are called Cushims in the Hebrew text of the Old Testament, and the Ethiopians by the text of the Spugnit or the 70, that they cannot have been the Ethiopians of Africa. So just because it say Ethiopians, that don't mean that they were African. Right? Just because appreciate that. Just because something said it was Ethiopian, that don't mean that's an African. Remember what I told you. Ancient Africa ain't the same as modern Africa. And a lot of terms didn't mean what you thought it mean when you use them today. So this is why we have to use old definitions when we read old sources to understand what and where they talking about and who they talking about. And we're still in America. Right? We still in America. And it says that they could not have been the Ethiopians of Africa. Right? Is evident from the single passage where they were said to have invaded Judah in the days of Asa and Zechariah, their king or leader. Pete Gang. How many of y'all was in here when we broke down the word Ethiopia? Do y'all remember that? For those who never heard me break down the word Ethiopia, the word Ethiopia translates into red serpent or fire serpent, right? Ethi or Ethiopus, right? Ethiopius, because it's Greek and Roman, right? Ethiopus or Ethiopios means red or fire, right? Opian means serpent. So Ethiopian means red or fire serpent, meaning that these are children of Nagas. Just the red serpent. Then there's different color serpents that specific people belong to. So, man. All right. So, that concludes Cushion Coffee in the Morning, man. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Anybody got any questions before we close out? Feel free to ask. If y'all haven't followed the page, make sure y'all follow the page now. For real, concludes Cushion Coffee in the Morning. Y'all know how we get down. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all the real MVPs. I love teaching, man. Oh, for my YouTube, hold on, because some of y'all don't know the YouTube. I don't feel like scrolling. But say, how old is my baby? She's 6. She's 6 years old. They gave me a restriction. Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. How you gonna give me a restriction when I'm closing out? I'm gonna put my YouTube channel up here for y'all who want to know my channel, so y'all can subscribe. You know, get the gems, get the sources as well too if y'all got time today. Appreciate that. Appreciate the gifts. So this is my YouTube channel. If y'all want to subscribe to it, you know, check out the page. I do have a membership up there. You know, if y'all want to join the membership on my YouTube, because we will be going live on YouTube here in a couple of weeks and stuff like that. So the membership is for those who want access to exclusive content, exclusive videos, exclusive lives, and just exclusive stuff that a lot of other people won't get a hold to. You know, certain lives will be members only, just to keep down on the trolls and shit, so we can really focus on teaching and learning. So if y'all want to subscribe to that, I really do appreciate the support. We trying to stump with the big dogs on YouTube now, you feel me? Let's see. If y'all haven't grabbed a copy of my book, I also am a self-published author. The link is in my bio, the Gumroad link. You know, I got 3 books out now: Reclaiming Our Consciousness 1 and 2, and Aneclipses of America. You know, I break down everything, give y'all sources and documents inside those as well too. We go a little bit deeper than what we do on TikTok as well. Any more? I don't have too many more announcements right now, but with that being said, I'm going to try to come back on later on today. If not, then I'll see y'all when I see y'all. So with that being said, vibrate high, peace, prosperity, abundance, gratefulness, gratitude, and appreciativeness. Practice serenity, control what you can control, let go of what you can't control, and have the knowledge and wisdom to know the difference. And teach your kids what you didn't know, because it's very vital for our kids to know this information, understand this information, and embody this information. Right, because psychological colonization happened at a young age, and it's our jobs as guardians and guidance to guard and guide our children to a better future than what this shit's looking like right now, right? So don't just be a parent that rent, and don't be a grandparent that rent. You feel me? It's time to start waking up the future, and it has to start with the youth. And with that being said, I'm out. Stay blessed and keep vibing high. See y'all in these TikTok streets. So when am I going live on YouTube? I'm going live. We're gonna start going live at the end of this month on YouTube. At the end of this month, we'll start going live. I got you, sugar. I got you.